but you got to hear me. Can you guys hear me now? All right. I think no, I think they can hear me now. I think they can hear me now. Let me just make sure. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Yes, sir. He says, yeah, you can hear now. All right, we're here. Now let me turn y'all up.
Oh,
All
Is it
right, so they can
me?
hear. Okay, all right, there we go. We good. All right, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was a little bit
Somebody
behind.
fat fingered it again.
Yeah, somebody was over here. Yeah. No, this wasn't a fat finger thing. This was just me. I was over here trying to send
Pause.
that other link, and that got me.
KMEGA, don't
Yeah, got me
explain.
noticed.
Go on with the show.
Yeah, and I'm sending the link,
Technical
and
You having
I think
technical difficulties because you got
it's
5
all good.
thumbs. Let's go.
Listen. I gave him a hot intro. My boy said that we was trying to go Tokyo drifting with that beat. That's cool, but that's all right. What's up? The GRG podcast is live. We're a few, I think, what was it, about a minute? We're good. We could do it. You'll trust me. It's this going
It ain't
on
like
to...
y'all gotta go nowhere. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. Let's go.
No, there's a lot to do. There's WandaVision. There's all types of stuff going on. There's other podcasts. There's all types of stuff going on. But we are glad that you are here. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get this party started because we do have a lot to discuss tonight. So let's go ahead and get to the guests. Man, first time on the GRG podcast, man. Welcome, Sinister. What's happening with you, bro? And tell everybody about what you do, the podcast you do, all of that.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Sinister. Yeah, my first time being on here. Yeah, other than outside work, I just enjoy gaming, making videos, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh man, come on! He said I do podcast. What podcast you do, brother? I know you do a podcast. Yeah, what's the name of the podcast?
man.
Yeah, you got to advertise,
part of
man.
the
Get them
gamers
out
section.
there.
I'm part of the gamer section. We do that every Sunday, things like that. So.
All right. Every
That's
Sunday,
what we
what
do.
time? Every Sunday, what time?
Oh yeah, we're 6:30 Eastern.
Okay.
And also, me and my boy Dirty, we also do our own podcast, but all of us about movies and things.
Well, it's
It's
the
the
same thing.
4K
Hey, man,
club. We only do it twice a
advertise.
month.
That is all what it's about, man. It's about
Facts.
helping one another and getting everybody to
Facts.
know who you are and what you do. I'm working on something to where I can do it a lot more easy, where I can put everybody's information that's guests on in the description, because a lot of times after the podcast we might have a conversation for a little while and then I'll forget, I'll crash and go to sleep, and then the next day I wait and I completely forgot about it. So I'm working on that to do that. But man, go ahead. What is the other podcast that you're doing where you're talking about movies and everything? And when is that?
It's called the 4K Club. We talk about like the 4K Blu-rays that you see out there on Best Buy, Walmart, and all that other stuff. We talk about them. Aside movies in the theater, all kinds of entertainment stuff.
Nice, excellent. I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know
No,
that you
that's
did
not
that.
nice. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. So while I'm not invited, I got 2,500 physical copy movies. I'm supposed to be on there. Let's talk about it.
Come
I
on
gotta
through.
say, that would be a
No. We don't giggle on GRG. I'm talking facts.
Yeah, well, he's like, hey man, why don't you just say I don't know you? That's why. But now he
I can
does.
do that. I will accept that. But
Yeah.
don't be laughing because I'm a movie enthusiast.
So and then before the show started, he was wanted to talk about the first topic. Come on, anyway. All right, and then we go.
he totally snitched on him, man.
Ah,
Wow.
yes.
Damn,
Hey,
K
light
Mizzle.
on light skin crime,
Well, listen,
baby.
now you know.
We
If
gotta
you
be
want
like-
an enthusiast, you know what I'm saying? I got the big surround sound over 17 grand.
You guys
Let's go.
I think everybody on this panel, and maybe everybody that watches
go.
is a bigger movie fan than I am, because I don't watch
Let's
a
go.
lot of movies
That's what I'm built for, baby.
But anyway,
Facts.
let's go on to our second guest, man. Finally, man. I mean, we've been waiting for Homeboy to come on for a while, but now he's here, man. Dreadpool, what's happening? What's been going on, man? Tell everybody about you and what you've been doing, man.
Oh, not much. Just been, hanging out with the everybody, online and playing some Outriders and getting pissed off at it. Yeah. But I do my own little thing right alongside with Gaming Beyond the Box. I do Breaking Bread with Dread. So this last one was a big one. I actually had a TikToker that's got 30.6 thousand followers.
Nice. Excellent.
I got about 5, but I be doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, I saw what you posted, GRG. I was
My
like,
Millie
what?
Rock on any black.
I was like, this boy losing his mind. I say TikTok, because my mama's on TikTok right now, and I'm like, you got to get off of that. That's the devil's
Nah,
word.
no, she don't. Good spirits, good energy. I support Mama KMEGA. I'm with you, Mama.
I still haven't subscribed to TikTok. I might
need
eventually.
to.
I know, but I just like, man, because that's all she does. She used to be a Facebook fiend, but now she is TikTok forever now. Like, it's crazy.
Ask your moms if she want to do a duet with Lemon. I got her.
Oh my God. Anyway,
it's a black hole. I'll tell you that, man. You get sucked in and you just keep on going.
It's fun as hell.
Yeah,
I
that's what she says.
I have
I'm
a good time with it.
It's just great. But
I'm on TikTok in a onesie, an Xbox Series X onesie, and I don't even care.
Well, we saw that. We saw that. That was something.
They tried to get us to buy onesies, and I'm like, even the biggest one is too small for me.
Yeah,
I got a 4X.
Yeah.
But it was fun, right, K-Meg?
Yeah, that was great. That was great. You know what I'm saying? I support my brother, man. I support my team, whatever they do. That was you. I ain't doing that, but that's you, brother. But
My
anyway,
boy told me in the
speaking of
barbershop, I got my haircut. He said, "Yo, how did you get an Xbox onesie?" I said, "They had 4X." If it was 2X, we'd be looking from the outside in, but they had a 4X, so I copped it and I did some TikTok to it. I don't care. Life is fun, baby.
All right,
Enjoy
brother.
it.
So why don't you go ahead and let everybody know about you, Letheus from the Zeus? You know what I'm saying? Is it okay?
We got another guest.
Hold on. What's going on here? What's going on? Who's the other guest?
We got 2 guests, right?
Are you?
I
introduced him.
introduced him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had the same mental mistake too.
Both of them?
Yeah, because I was like, what? What's going on here?
Oh my. Okay. It's your boy Letheus, aka Runaway Dragons TV, aka your boy Lemon, aka the Dragons Den podcast is dropping tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving away Little Nightmares too. And shout out to the guest man for showing up. Appreciate y'all, man. And I'm ready to get these topics done because it's a good situation tonight. It was a great week of gaming information. Let's get it.
Man, all right. Hey, babe, that boy Lemon was acting like he did the instant transmission because he didn't know what was going on, and all of a sudden he went. He's like, let's get back. Let's roll it back. All right, so let's get to it.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I just dawned on me. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I blanked out, but son of a bitch. We got some. We got alumni here from Breaking Bread with Dread.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, hey. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to it, man. One of the newest members of the GRG podcast, man. Our brother Still Rain. What's happening with you, fam? What's going on?
Man, it is I, and I am him, the one and only Still Rain. It is also, as Dread has spoken, the alumni of Breaking Bread with Dread. Look. We're doing it big in GRG again. Tonight is the night. We're giving it to you live, raw, and uncut. And again, in an energy that I think is you're going to feel in a different kind of way. We're going to hit these topics. We got some fire tonight. The energy is up. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
And he's light-skinned. The most light-skinned podcast on deck. Let's go!
Oh, my God. All right, let's just let that.
The way it is.
Yeah, just the way it is. Tonight is the night. Okay. I see Bloody is in the house, but I'll get to you last, Bloody. Let's get to PK Live. What's happening with you, PK? What's going on?
What's happening? I'm glad to be here with my friends, my brothers from all over.
Your mic is really loud at the end. You know,
okay.
Like, yeah. Turn it down.
It's clipping.
You're peaking. You're peaking.
Hey, I got it. How about that? That sound good?
It sounds real good.
Very good.
All right, awesome.
All right, there we go.
I'm glad to be here, guys. Can't wait to get into these topics. We got a full house. I'm gonna keep it short. Let's get it moving.
Let's get it moving. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and then we moving on down the line. Six Slayer, what's happening with you, brother?
Ooh, got a new mic on deck. Welcome to the Dreadpool. I heard you this morning on Boomsticks.
Breakfast with Boom? Yeah.
Yeah, Breakfast with Boom.
Shout out to
definitely.
Boom.
That's cool dude in Tar Heel. Welcome. What's up, everybody? We got a lot of topics, so let's get into it.
Let's get into it. No doubt.
He the Steph Curry of the light skin posse. Facts.
Let's go. Woo! All right. And then last but not least, man, we got Bloody, man, the king of anime. You know what I'm saying? The self-proclaimed king of anime. What's happening? And if not, and hold on, but this is one thing that he is the king of is Yakuza. That is one part we cannot take that away from him. He is the king of Yakuza. So what's up, Bloody?
By Sega themselves.
Yeah, by Sega themselves.
Yep, you already know it's the Mad Dragon of Xbox here represent. You know I got that Sega love going on, but it's always good to be here with the family. It's always good to be here for the community, talking about everything that's going on. You know, I've been doing a lot of things. Y'all all saw that my love for Yakuza as I was getting down on it earlier this week. And of course, I'm always doing a lot of different things.
You're not saying it right, Bloody. It's Yakuza. Yakuza.
But either way it is, I was like, you already know.
Oh, your mic is crackling a little bit too. But
yeah, turn down your gain, bro.
Sorry, I'm just so hyped. God damn it, I'm so excited. Either way, you know what it is. I was like, I'm just ready to get to talking to these topics. I want to keep it real quick, so because some things that I want to put out there for sure. So let's go ahead and get it popping.
All right, and yeah, and speaking of popping, do something with that mic. All right, so now let's get to it.
The only thing I got popping is your mom's on my. Never mind.
Oh my God! Listen.
You know what? We don't do that here. We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
Yes, let's keep it cold and steady, ladies, gentlemen.
Pop, lock, and drop it.
Let me say this again, because when he said something about my mama, I was like,
KMEGA, put your bull horns away.
I mean, you gotta reel it back.
All right, yeah, we got to roll that back. All right, so let's get to it. Very first topic. Okay, one or the other. So I'm going to say this first. Which one you want to talk about first? Because we're going to knock them out. The Superman, or we're going to talk about Pokemon first?
Let's get out Superman, and then let PK talk about Pokemon by itself.
Well, if we go talk about Pokemon, then we might as well let him talk about Pokemon, first.
First, yeah.
Okay, let him go.
All right, so we'll talk about Pokemon first. Let's get to it. All right, so Pokemon Direct. PK, this is all you, brother. Let us know what you know, what happened, because I didn't see anything. I didn't even know anything about it. But you know what? I know that there's hardcore Nintendo fans, or I should say hardcore Pokemon fans out there. So please give them all the info that they need.
All right. First of all, I want to say this is supposed to be a team effort. Y'all can't just be.
Oh, no. We're going to discuss it, brother. We're going to discuss it. We got your back. I didn't know anything about it. So that was the thing.
No, KMEGA, you got to keep it real. You got to be like, you put out the topics and you want to talk about it. The rest of us really don't care. Facts. So talk.
Hey, relax, okay?
I'm here
to have a conversation.
Please, let's have a conversation.
You're going to have a conversation with me.
Okay.
The stage is all yours. Don't pass it to the hype man, DMX. I don't want to hear about that. Go ahead, DMX.
Today is February 26th, and this is the 25th year of Pokemon, so that's 25.
Only you knew that.
Come on, Lemon, let the boy talk, man.
So they're doing a few things to celebrate that, right? Today was their Pokemon Direct, which
what's today?
Yeah. Yes. So today, so kind of like how Nintendo kind of missed out on their Nintendo Direct, there was no Pokemon news, and I thought that was pretty strange, but because of what year this is, but yeah, so this to celebrate their 25th anniversary. Tomorrow they're gonna have Post Malone do a virtual concert. And today they did show some stuff. As expected from the Pokemon community, they are doing Diamond and Pearl remakes for Switch this year. They also announced Pokemon Snap, and they showed more of a open world Pokemon game that's coming out next year that looks similar to like a Breath of the Wild. I won't say it's like Breath of the Wild because it's early stages, and still Breath of the Wild to me still look better, but As at the very least, it's open world ish, and it looks like it all takes place in the same central region, but this one takes place back in the day where the look like they're dressed like ninjas, right? They have these old school wooden pokeballs and everything. So I'm not sure what that story is going to be like, but at the very least, it should be pretty cool. I would note that there's some things that stuck out to me watching this. Of course, just FYI, the stream during the event somehow abruptly ended. I have no idea. It's like they lost connection and then just never came back. All the games that were shown, even though the chat was going crazy. It was probably the most crazy chat all year at any show. Even though that's a low bar to hit, but more than likely, it's for Pokemon. It's always crazy, right? But all the games that shown, when it came to Diamond and Pearl Remake, they specifically pointed out another studio, which usually does support for other games like Nier Automata and it's a couple of Namco games like Dark Souls and whatnot. So they are doing the development for Diamond and Pearl Remake. What I thought was particular is why did they shout these people out when all the other games were also done by other developers? I thought that was pretty strange when they didn't shout out no one else. So to me, how I read into that is because of the poor reception of Pokemon 2019 or Sword and Shield, they had such a big backlash. Pokemon 2019 is probably the most divisive Pokemon in history. I don't think they want to get blamed should this game be garbage. And they probably shift and blame. At least that's what it appears. I have no evidence. It just
well, I mean, you weren't the only one that was complaining about the last Pokemon game. I mean, there was quite a. It took a while because I mean, when you talked to me about it, it was like when the game first dropped or whatever, and then a little bit later, I think by the time when it got to the DLC, that's when there was a lot of complaint about that game. So it's pretty much like 6 months to almost a year later when people really started complaining about it. So no, I agree with you. I think that might be something to that. But go ahead.
Right. And one other thing is that the consensus of the Pokemon community is the quality has dropped ever since Black and White 2. And the last Pokemon entry, the main series entry, not the remakes, had the 2/3 of all content cut, including Pokemon itself. And the whole point of the saying is catch them all. Where you can only catch some. And the consensus is, well, Pokemon is always going to sell 15 million plus copies no matter what. So they think the Game Freak just don't care and won't try. Because they know Pokemon is going to sell regardless. It's one of Nintendo's and Pokemon company's biggest, most profitable franchises, and we felt like, well, they need to give it to a dev that can actually bring it to life the way everyone would love to see it. And Game Freak, just even with their own games, has not shown that they have enough skill to bring to life any kind of game that has the same quality as the other Nintendo games, such as Breath of the Wild, or Fire Emblem, or Smash Bros. All these games run at 60 frames, 1080, but Pokemon. How is that possible? So, anyways, watching that, I did get excited. The open world does look interesting, though I still feel like it definitely needs to be polished before it drops next year. So, outside of that, that's all I got right now.
All right. So, do anybody want to address that?
I want to say one thing. Yeah. I wonder why, because Nintendo had that direct earlier in the week. Was it this week?
Yeah, it was last week. It was last week,
but it just blurs my mind because it just was a bit of a disappointment, frankly. Right, much like the state of play we'll discuss later. So I feel like, why didn't they just add this into that? Like, instead of 2 streams, have one. Maybe one that helped out for the overall gaming community because a lot of people aren't into Pokemon, right? But it would at least made their direct, the first direct of the year, come off better.
So I would say the reason why is because the Pokemon company holds the Pokemon Directs, not Nintendo. They're two different companies, and that's why.
Oh,
well, the Pokemon company is just a subsidiary division, but they're their own separate entity. They're just a part of Nintendo. That's all.
Okay. All right.
But here's the thing.
Okay, we're not going to dwell on the subject because nobody cares.
No, but hang on. One, don't cut me off. I was about to start. All right.
2 hours later.
Oh, don't do
I'm
that.
sorry. I didn't know that we were trying to hear about your damn bunions.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Bloody, please.
As I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted, PK brought up a good point. Is the fact of that they have never mentioned another studio that has worked on any of the other side projects outside the mainline entries for Pokemon. And the biggest thing about that kind of draws into it is that he's right. That while Sword and Shield were successful and they sold, they were also very divisive. Just like how many other games and other long-standing franchises always have that one that becomes very divisive. Look at what happened with Mass Effect and how people felt about Andromeda. Well, that had a lot of criticisms. There was still a very big community that liked it, didn't. However, the thing about Pokemon is that it has grown rapidly over 25 years. And at this point, Pokemon is literally one of the biggest merchandise and one of the most lucrative IPs out there. You're talking movies, toys, card games, plushies, and TV shows. One of the longest running animes out there that actually was inspired by the game, not the game inspired by the anime. That's where some people get it wrong. It's the fact that you have one of the biggest and money drawing franchises out there, but you have one company doing everything. After the divisive aspect of how Sword and Shield was received, I think that, and me and PK talked about this, is that Pokemon itself as a franchise has grown too big to be done by one company. And now I think that what they're going to have to start doing is that for all these side projects or non-mainline entries, kind of like what we see with Pokemon Snap and other spin-offs that they want to do, especially for remakes, that it has to get to the point where they need to have other studios that are either licensed or a part of a family of studios that are helping to work on these. So one, Game Freak can focus on the mainline entries because they can't be doing 4 different games at the same time when it's one studio. We've seen how that affects a lot of other games. Yeah. Look at what happened with Bungie alone and Destiny. Destiny got so big, they had 2 other support studios helping with that game. Even if you look at Xbox and what they do, look at the Coalition and Gears of War. The Coalition focused on the code, the engine, the main story, and all those assets, but they have other studios that help out and support other aspects. Flash Damage was brought on specifically for the multiplayer, and then they both work together to build the escape and horde modes. But the fact is that it's still so big that they can't do it all themselves in-house. And I think the Pokemon Company and Game Freak are starting to realize Pokemon is at that point where they can't do everything. And I think that's where they're starting to focus on, hey, look, these are the studios doing these other games. It's not us. Especially if you look at remakes of older games. The fact is, Diamond and Pearl are a remake of DS games.
Right.
And now they're having to make it for a console version. That's going to draw a lot of attention with the fact that they're
bloody.
Basic
But we're gonna have to wrap that up because there's people that's just saying that your mic is just tearing their ears up, bro. You're gonna have to fix that mic. So please,
turn down your gain, son.
You're gonna have to turn it down or like reset it or something. But yeah, like
Pokemon reset yourself.
or Raid said Bloody's mic need rabbit ears. That's great. Ray, we gotta have to brother, I gotta get you on here, man. I don't know. I've sit there and I know I've asked you before, but I gotta get you on here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Get him back, you know what I'm saying? At least half of the brothers in here from from the B Shadow days, man. I gotta get you on for sure. But anyway, do anybody else want to touch on this?
No.
Just
Stop.
real quick. I
Come on.
will say something real quick.
Thank you.
Just to kind of tie it into, because I know we want to move on. Are we just touching on how we feel about the Pokemon Direct overall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look. As someone who has come up with Pokemon as something that's just always been around, I mean, again, it's one of the highest grossing media franchises that existed to this point right now, estimated over 100 billion. So Pokemon is always going to, it's one of those things that's just going to consistently be around. My thing is I want to see them progress and move forward. That's kind of why a lot of people kind of fall off of Pokemon, stop caring about it. Is that exact reason? Is that they're not innovative enough? You keep doing, like, we keep hollering at everybody else about these other sports games and these iterations of the same thing, but we don't attack the Nintendo, man. Again, what we need to be talking about, the Pokemon Direct is cool and all, but why is it that we just are so satisfied with Nintendo just putting out mediocre entertainment, mediocre software?
Right.
That's more the issue.
Right.
It's great that they're finally taking their Pokemon franchise that they have billions of dollars invested into.
Exactly.
They make billions of dollars off of, and are just now giving you an open world Pokemon experience. They've been spoon feeding you half-ass games over the last 20 years, damn near almost. What, 1998 is when you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really talking about? That's the issue. But overall, Pokemon Direct is cool for those that care about it. You know what I mean? It's cool that they're creating a different experience. If they need to, man. I mean, you got to do something. You need to move forward, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, let's go.
No doubt.
I'm gonna follow that up, and
yes, sir.
They need to make it a little bit more realistic. It's too cartoony for me.
Yeah, I could agree with that. No, I mean,
so
See,
y'all
that could
didn't
be a
like
whole different
Pokemon
conversation.
Go? You walk with your cell phone. You look at Google's map and walk.
well,
into
that's
the street
that's
nearby
as real
car.
that's as real as you
Yeah.
can get. Yeah, I guess so.
You
But
ain't getting no realer than that.
So just to say,
Because
I
it
agree
almost
with
happened
everything.
to me. I was like, oh, let me download Pokemon Go. I'm following Pokemon Go. I almost got hit by a truck. I said, uh-oh, erase. I'm good.
Here's the other aspect.
It had no Google Maps in terms of traffic. I'm good.
You mentioned the fact that they've been spoon feeding. Well, you got to remember too is that they weren't making it. The older Pokemon games weren't ever graphically demanding or anything. They've been made literally for handheld devices.
And that's fine, but we have new technology now.
Again, even on handheld devices, you're still limited by one severely inferior hardware with what they were able to do. Yes, they're not going to be as innovative.
It's only inferior because Nintendo chooses to be that way.
Exactly.
Bloody,
And
are you
this
a Pokemon player?
Accept that.
This is why.
Bloody, are you a Pokemon player?
Yes, I am. That's why I have room to speak. Damn it.
oh,
And then I feel that. I'm not taking that, and I don't want to take that away. I'm not speaking bad on what it is.
All
what
you
it
guys
is,
are
but
saying the right things. All you guys are right. On every aspect. At the bottom line, we all want better and we want all more. No matter if you're a fan of the franchise or just a gamer, we want innovation.
Right.
We want to push we want the next generation
That's what I
Pokemon
want,
fans to be just as excited as
Exactly.
we were growing up. That is the reality of
And
this
after
whole
25 years to get the same thing, that's just corny.
innovate. There's no excuse for not innovating.
Right.
That's
This
a
is
lot of
warm-up
right
subject.
answers
We
right
need to
there.
keep it
All right, no,
pushing. This is a warm-up.
we're gonna keep it pushing. I just wanted to.
Facts, let's go.
But I gotta show some respect to the guests though as well. Sinister,
Facts.
did you
You
have
ain't
anything?
even here to guess.
Well, we heard Dread what he was saying, but then he got cut off. But
I
Dread,
was just joking.
oh, you just playing. Sinister, do you have anything that you want to touch on this about the Pokemon situation?
I'm not much of I'm a Pokemon.
No, you
fan.
can say no. It's okay.
You can say no if you want.
Say no, please. Because if you say something, then PK and goddamn Bloody go follow up.
Oh,
Just
my
say
God.
nope.
I got nothing to add.
Don't let that man do that to you.
Nothing against the Pokemon community. I'm not a Pokemon fan, so I don't have much to add on it. So
Pokemon community, rest in peace.
Man.
Good luck. Next.
Already, I see where this episode is going.
Okay. Big Smoke.
All right. Okay.
PK,
So
you can't pick no more subjects. Facts.
all right. Okay. So what up? Yeah, it's the start off topic. The start off topics are really not the topics.
To warm up. Now we warmed up. Don't go back to it.
But one thing that I think is going to go a little bit longer, unfortunately, is going to be the Superman topic. We gonna touch it. We gonna touch it.
We can touch.
Okay, all right, but hold on, let me give some shout outs to some people. Okay, no, you good. Lucifer, you know what I'm saying? My boy Lou, he says Tim is already a good Pokemon game on PC. Hey man, Lou, you have turned into a PC master race for life now, man. Bro, I know that you haven't been able to get your hands on a Series X, but now I don't even know if you even been wanting to get one. But hey,
you got that 1080 negative Ti.
But
good luck.
But I will say this. I went ahead and I got Persona Striker. It's a good game. Now, the only thing that I got to complain about is that why does a game like that, like Dynasty Warriors, have to still have the Persona way of taking damn 10 hours before we get into the raw action? Like, I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like
that's what they do.
I know, but it's still good because it's right after Persona 5. And yeah, it's right after Persona 5, and now the government is after the Phantom Thieves, and so that's pretty much from what I've seen. And then there's this crazy protagonist, and that was just the beginning of it. But the combat system is really dope. So if you are interested in that, please get it on PlayStation and on PC. Huh?
It's a hack and slash.
It's also on Switch.
And Switch as well. It is like Destiny Warriors. Or like,
it's made by
Dynasty Warriors.
Koei, so it has the Dynasty Warriors.
Engine. Yeah,
that engine.
It's good. It's good.
It's the same as Hyrule Warriors or Ultimate,
or the One Piece game that's out there.
Y'all dudes are just inviting the Switch police to come out in full force.
Anyway, all right. So anyway, what's up, Cali Rex?
Just like Godzilla versus
Oh my
Kong.
God, Sleepy Goblin, what's happening? Don, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? My boy Jazzy Dupe, hey man, Thomas Frank.
Nuke was good.
You know
Don Dizzle.
ATL. Hey, and my bad, ATL. I thought you was popping shade at me last night on next podcast, but you cleared it up, and I apologize. I was like, man, what? I like, bro, where did that come from? And you said you did, so that was on me. My bad. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and then like. Oh yeah, no, Six Layer's already in the group. I ain't gonna say what's up to him, but my boy Dragon Heart,
Slick.
Disrespectful.
I say AKA Slick. I call him Slick.
No.
Man.
I said no. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about. I'm just teasing him like Slick.
Yeah, and Dragonheart Yobi, man, congratulations on getting on there, man, getting in there in the podcast, man, doing your thing out there with
Tracks. Yobi on deck, bro. We did a podcast the other day together. I said, Yobi's in. He said, yeah, Lemon, I'm doing my thing on YouTube. I said, do it, brother, do it.
Oh yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. And I'll sit there. I see Midway Monster, man,
yeah,
and everybody else. I'll say Deck. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for the support. I
Predators
really
in the chat.
It, we do it.
Shout out to my non-next gen PC guy.
Oh yeah, hold on. Where's my boy Pred at? Hey man, every time you come on here, here's Pred's theme song.
Oh, here we go.
He knows exactly what that is. Hey Pred, what's up, bro?
We're back at that again.
No, they hear it. They hear it.
Jazzy Nick was good.
We don't hear it.
E3 2022. Let's get it, Jazzy. You know how we do.
Okay, hold on.
No, we don't hear it. Okay.
Korean barbecue, huh? Let's go.
Hold on, let me see if I can
my
fix
guy
that
right
for
there.
us,
I'll kill some Korean barbecue right now.
Element.
I'm gonna push some buttons. I'm gonna push some buttons right here.
Yet. I don't want to talk to you, Brad, huh?
I'm gonna hit some buttons right here. Okay, hold on. Can y'all hear me?
I really hope it
Can y'all hear me? You got me? Okay, so y'all hear that? Y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so here.
You'll never
There you go. Now y'all hear it, don't you?
No, I don't hear.
No.
Oh, well, never mind.
I don't hear this.
I just started watching the stream and unmuting it so I could hear it.
Oh, hold on. Okay,
I
I'll
had
fix
to
it while I
cheat.
let somebody else talk.
Mega,
Well, let's get to it. Let's get to it. We give me to move it, brother.
Production values right now.
I'm gonna fix them while y'all talking because I know one of you fools are gonna be very long. Anyway, okay, so
let's get to these guests.
Shut up and I will. Shit. Okay, so DC is over here going to make it's been rumored that DC is going to do a reboot to Superman. Now, as great and as one of my favorite movies Superman movies is Man of Steel. Henry Cavill has been a monster, right? Like, I love his Superman. Now, I don't know if other people may think or whatever, but it looked like overall a lot of people are happy with it. But it seems like with this reboot that DC is trying to do, and it's a rumor, is that they want to make a black Superman movie. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know how everything works in Hollywood. If something's hot, then they're gonna try it. And right now, there's a lot of black films that's hot. And of course, one of the biggest action films out there was Black Panther. So I guess what I'm trying to ask the panel, and I'm going to go straight to you with this one, Sinister, first, is this necessary? Are you for this? Are you not? Is it a good time for this? Give me a little bit of what you think about this, if this rumor could be true.
It's true. I mean, it's like, I want to know who's writing it. It's like, it's done by the guy that did Black Panther, like, because, he did that book. If he's doing it, it's like, all right, I'll probably be interested in it. But as far as like them going on, about Hollywood, it's just trying to follow the trends and things like that. So I don't know if it's going to be true. It's a wait and see. I mean, if they do it right, cool. If not, it's like, I'm going to trash it. So, I mean, that's really all I can say about that.
But okay, so what about the is it time for the Black Superman to come out? And if they're going to do it that way, how is it going to tie into what they've done with the Justice League? I mean, do you have anything that you want to give on that aspect of it? I mean, if they do it, are you going to be good with it? That's pretty much my question.
I'd be cool with it. There's a Black Superman in the comics.
Right.
That's what they're going to go for. It's like cool and things like that. But like I said, they're going to push forward to. Unless it's got to be well written and things like that. And would it tie into the main Justice League? Yeah, it'd be cool with it. I'd be interested. But like I said, it's just like wait and see if they're going to go through with it.
All right. What about you, Dreadpool? What is your thoughts about this, man?
I think it depends on how it's written. How does this come about? Is it a separate Superman? Is it the same Superman? Because you look at Green Lanterns, right? Mm-hmm. They're all different races. They're all different kinds. It doesn't matter, And we have a white and a black on Earth. So as long as it's written right, I really don't care. I don't see a big deal over it. Mm-hmm. I understand if there was a certain role that was supposed to be only this way, and that's the creator's decision, then fine. But whoever owns the property makes that decision now, right? Because if the creator's long gone, hey, it's to the property owner, and whoever owns that IP makes that choice. And if they want to try something, whatever, try it, but it better be written right. Because otherwise, you don't want something out there. Because what happened with Ghostbusters, right? It was forced. They didn't like bring it out the right way and write it to include or be like a simultaneous find or a handoff. You know what I mean? They just went like it never existed, and then they brought the old cast in for cameos, which made no sense. So it faltered because it felt like it was some of it was cool, but some of it felt like it was forced. And that's that's really what happens is when you feel like something's forced upon you, like the story's poorly written and it's forced like that, no one's going to like it. And then no one's going to go back, So however it's written, it needs to be done right. The script needs to be done right. The directing, everything needs to be 100% the right way for it to be accepted. Otherwise, we're gonna be fighting over it anyway. It doesn't matter. You got people that don't like change, and you got people that always want change. So I'm in the middle. If change is good, but at the same time, make sure it's for the right reasons.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. No, that's a great point. All right, so, and I'm going to ask one question before I when I get done with everybody. And no, matter of fact, I'm going to ask this now, so we can just go ahead and get that part over with. So, okay, Sinister, I'm going to ask you this just really quick. Who would you rather have, Henry Cavill come back or them have another Superman?
I'd rather have Henry come back.
Okay, all right. What about you, Dreadpool?
Henry.
Okay, all right. So, all right, Slayer, Slick. You know what I'm saying? What is your thoughts about this, man? I mean,
So at first, I was kind of worried about what folks would say if my opinion was out there, and apparently it's not. Dreadpool hit the nail on the head squarely. I'm gonna put it to you just like this. I don't want them to be pandering. I don't need a black Superman. I just need a good Superman. If he's black, that's great. And I'll give you an example of what I mean of them doing things right. Miles Morales. He's not the black and Puerto Rican Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man.
Fact.
That's all I want. That's all anybody should want. You want a well-written, you want a good movie and everything that goes with it, not just the race of the character. I mean, that's good too. You see how that's worked with Black Panther and all of that, but Black Panther wears that on its sleeve. This is similar, but also different because it's one character. It's not a whole ensemble cast, and it's you know, it could be whatever, but it has to be done right, or no one's gonna care. And it was said earlier, you know, Hollywood, they're going with what is trending and is making money. That's all they care about. And so my hopes
as long as it brings in the dough, that's all they care about.
Right, but it won't bring in the dough if they don't do it right. That's the thing these guys seem not to get. Like, you do it right, you get the money. You don't, you burn money. That's it. I'm moving
Getting the smoke.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. So
I don't really feel I have anything else to say.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. And let me ask you that question too. Henry Cavill or another Superman?
Listen, well, depends on what they're doing. But if I had to pick,
right,
I don't care about Man of Steel. I don't care about Superman like that.
Just give me an answer. Henry Cavill or
I don't care.
else.
I don't care. I really don't care.
Let me say something. Can I go next? So I can
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna cut. I don't have much to say, but
how you just gonna cut that man off?
I am gonna cut him off because everybody got a lot to say. I don't have a lot to say, and
we gonna see that. We're gonna put you to the test on that sucker.
No. But I'm the biggest movie enthusiast in the room, and Man of Steel.
And you don't have a lot to say?
No, I don't. No. I'm gonna keep it simple.
Okay.
Man of Steel hit all marks. That's it. It was great. It wasn't the story of Superman, but the movie was fantastic. I'm done.
Okay. Can y'all hear my sounds now?
Mm-mm.
Y'all can't hear them, huh? Damn, that's crazy.
I'm done.
All right.
Nope.
Oh, well, that was impressive. I'm happy for you, Lemon. Okay, that was good. You were right.
You know I love my music, son.
All right, but the question goes to you too, though. Henry Cavill or another Superman?
Henry Cavill.
All right.
He
So
fit the whole situation. You know.
All right.
But listen, it's like, hold on.
Oh, right, come on now.
No. I'm not gonna talk long, KMEGA. Listen, you know, I'm saying as a movie dude, Henry Cavill hit all marks. That's it. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. He was right.
Okay,
That's it. He was right for the role.
I just want to make sure. Did you get it out, Lemon? I just no, but let me set it straight, okay? So we need to stop speculating. All right. So DC last year at DC Fandom hired John Ridley. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he is a black writer who wrote for shows like Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He did movies like 12 Years a Slave, American Crime. So he's really, really talented. Won many awards, right? They hired him to write a comic called The Other Side of DC. And The Other Side of DC was all of the black and brown and ethnic background, Hispanic, whatever, colored superheroes of DC Comics that does not always get light shine on it. And in this comic, he goes through and shows you that maybe not the Henry Cavill Superman you know, but in another universe, there is a black Superman. There's a black Superman named Calvin Ellis, who is much stronger than the other Superman because he has melanin in his skin and he can absorb more radiation than the other Superman. He's actually the president of the United States, based on Barack Obama, by the way. But the point I'm making is, it's more than just the characters that we know. What DC is doing is showing you that there is more iterations to the same characters we love with different stories, different backgrounds. For instance, Milestone Media had its return today. It's 0 issue out of 13 years. And the first thing that drew me was Static. They redid Static. They redid all the characters' origins to fit in modern times. Unlike Marvel, who removed Black Lives Matter from Miles Morales comics, the Static comic embraces it. And all I'm saying is, we're talking about stories of minorities in different roles that you would not see them in typically. So I'm not going to say that the new Superman is a replacement. More or less, kind of like there's a Flashpoint movie that's showing that there's different dimensions and different realities of the same characters. Just like we have to accept, and they did this on their TV show. I don't know if you guys watched it, but the CW permanently suggested that the Flash in the DCU is on a different Earth. The Flash in the TV show is on a different Earth. And they had 3 Supermen. 3. One from the movies when back in the day, from what you guys remember. The one from the TV show, they had 3 Supermen. Showed that there are different iterations. So I don't want you to think and feel some type of way about this. I want you to understand that maybe they're just trying to introduce all of these iterations to have a big movie, kind of like Crisis on Infinite.
Right, like the paradox and all that stuff. Right, like I can get that. Like
they're multiverse.
Yes, so that's what they're hammering down. There is a multiverse. Don't think that just because this Flash isn't the Flash from the TV show, that's not the same character. They actually showed him on the TV show. So they definitely the same character. They just in different realities. And this is that's why I wanted to point that out, is I don't want you guys to think it's a replacement. You have to see
it's not a replacement.
You have to see it as a new production.
You see Baby Jesus, you're looking at the situation wrong.
Yeah, so
hold on. You said your point. I agree.
And I thought you said you were doing with yours.
No. I gotta say this because you brought up a great valid point.
All right.
DC messed up, and the multiple Earths was a backup to correct their wrongs. Let's not try to make it look like they knew what they were doing from the beginning. When they messed up, they made the multiverse. Okay, but I don't want to go deep because it's not Smash. But I'm just saying.
But yeah, so so for me, I think that we have to look at it objectively and not to get too caught up emotionally about it, and just welcome whatever happens. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the writing and the story.
And they lost that battle.
So let's back up. So if they have their best writers, such as John Ridley, who wrote The Other Side of DC, or some of their other top writers, like John, was it Scott Snyder, or
I can't even remember his name because they're not important. But go ahead.
They are important because they are big time. They're not just writers; they are producers as well. The point I'm making is, if they have their top writers on this, they can definitely Jeff Johns. That's their number one writer right there. He writes with a slow burn. And what I mean by that is it seemed like the story's taking off slow, but he has all this stuff going on. And then you just want to know what's going to happen next. And then he hits you with a twist at the end. He does it every time. He's just that talented. And what I mean is, if they put somebody like that, and even though he is somewhat producing some of the shows like Stargirl, he could definitely make that movie happen and bring all these things together like Kevin Feige did with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. At the end of the day, just like the writing was in the DC animated universe was amazing. Okay, if they could apply that same mythology in their cinematic universe, then it would be great. So we just have to wait and see. Not really come to too many conclusions right now, because
you can't. Like, because shout out to KMEGA for shout out to DC Hope. I hope they get this shit together in live action. Let's go. Next subject.
So ATL mentioned
Let's go. Anyway, we got panel members. We got guests. Let's go, PK.
I got you. I just want to mention that ATL mentioned. He sat there and said, "I love Milestone Blood Syndicate," and he's gonna get the Milestone book tomorrow. And that's and I'm gonna tell you now, it's a great read. You should definitely. I encourage you all to take a look at it.
This generation don't read. If it's not on YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok, nobody wants to hear it. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to Still Rain. What do you think about this? Oh, and let me ask you, PK, which Superman, would you want a new Superman or would you want Henry Cavill?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right. What about you, Still Rain?
Snap. Let's be real. I'm not particularly a fan of Superman overall as it is. But to answer your question straight up.
Whoa, hold on. You said what? You ain't a fan of Oh my.
He's not a fan of Superman.
Shots fired. Y'all can hear the bullets going off.
But I'm not a DC guy either, though. So I mean, it is what it is. If it's not Batman, I kind of don't care.
That's my man's right there.
I'm just saying. This is me personally. But
that's
look,
my man's right there.
kind of like hitting off the subject that PK was saying. We're going to this whole multiverse thing, and Marvel's doing it really well. But like Dragon was saying, the reason that they're doing it though is to cover up their misses. Marvel hasn't had any misses within the last 10 years.
I wouldn't say that.
Hold on.
No,
not every movie might have fit your expectation. Not every movie might have fit your expectation, but the movies themselves, as
nothing to the level of the DC movies, clearly,
as a collection, have been put together massive. You know, you cannot deny that. There is not another series out that can compare to what Kevin Feige has done with the Marvel universe to this point.
I just want to be clear. I agree with you only on the cinematic movie universe, not the comics, not the cartoons.
But when we get to that stuff, it can be kind of subjective. I mean, me personally, I came up as a Marvel kid. I was around the Marvel comics. I came up with that X-Men generation. You know what I'm saying? So my pops put. Again, it's like arguing brands with again. You know what I mean? It's like DC and Marvel. I want them to make good content. Why can DC make good animated content, but cannot make real live action content? I don't get that. Why do you keep rebooting Batman and Superman? Again, you're trying to get attention.
Here's a bigger question.
Hold up real quick, because I want y'all to get into it too. But I think I seen Rain G4 say it earlier. I believe it was him. Is that they're just marketing off of the popular black thing right now? That's what you know what I'm saying? That's the way that it comes across. You know what I'm saying? Now you want there to be a black Superman. Why Superman? Because Superman's a popular character. Well, now you know there's going to be debate about this. You're gonna raise everybody up in arms because people be like, "Oh, why are you gonna make him black? Oh, Superman has always been a white guy." But at the end of the day, when you introduce the multiverse and whatever creative genius, who cares about it? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. But you on a roll, bro. I got you.
But where did that start? Where did that start? Why you made him a black man? Nick Fury.
Yeah, but true. Again, but we see how well that went. But even then, there was still a stigma with that. I thoroughly enjoy that. And they even acted up and made a canon comic with it.
Don't forget what's his name as the Kingpin even before that.
Facts.
Yeah,
and
so I mean,
turned into a black dude. He was just light skinned. Facts.
So for me,
Billy D. Williams is Harvey Dent.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So for me, it's like it's like the same thing. You can make Batman be like, it's cool as long as and there is an iteration of him that is, but as long as the story and the iteration that you're trying to portray is on point, who can complain? That's what it's about nowadays. Because other than that, people are going to tell you whether it's trash or not, or whether what's going on.
That's my favorite character in Street Fighter. I'm using you all day.
I agree with you 100%, and that's why I said the last 10 years, in comparison to storytelling, DC is killing it. And this multiverse didn't start with movies; it started in the comics.
Right, in the comics.
And their multiverse stories are better written, better told, and everything. And they brought everything together. Okay, and shout out to Rain in the chat saying the same thing.
Yes,
he's 100% agreeing that I get it. I give Marvel the crown when it comes to the cinematic movies, because they started with Blade, right? Blade is what changed everything. Right. That's what made us start watching it. Not what Kevin Feige did, but what they did with Blade.
That's a fact.
So it's always been a thing, right?
Rated R movie for Marvel ever.
All right, so we got one more person. We got one more person to get to, and then we got to talk about some games. So, all right, Bloody, the last one. What I'm saying? So please don't take it way too far along, because I'm saying we talked about these two topics, and now we're gonna get to some gaming. So, what is your thoughts about the whole situation? Oh yeah, and Still Rain, Henry Cavill, or would you want another Superman?
If I'm gonna pick, I like the current iteration of him.
Okay. All right, Bloody. What do you think? What's your thoughts?
I'll make that.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah. No. He done. Okay.
I don't care.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
We got better things to talk about. This isn't a movie show. It's a game show. Let's go.
We started off with the Pokemon, and
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying. I mean, because really, Pokemon was supposed to be the last topic, but I was over here trying to get my boy PK.
No.
Thing, so it's not good.
We gave him his limelight.
So we got it. Oh no, that was on me, Thomas Franks. I sit there and I was trying to mess with some stuff, and then the sound went away.
He said next.
Yeah, so no, we back. Everybody can hear us now. All right, so yeah. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so let's talk about the PlayStation, the event. What was it? PlayStation, the State of Play.
They're gonna hate me.
Okay, we'll find out. So
no, I'm just saying, just in general.
All right, so the State of Play. What was your thoughts? I mean, good, bad, ugly, fantastic, whatever. You was indifferent. It doesn't matter. So going to the other guest, Dread. What do you think?
All right. As I've said before, every time I do these shows, I watch it with a fresh slate, no expectations, no bias. Let's just go in there, see what they actually present, right? Because if we're expecting God of War, we don't get it. What happens? We're let down, right? Yeah. So I go, I just sit there and I watch, and overall, it wasn't bad. I mean, the what was it? Sifu?
Sifu.
Right,
yeah.
Dude, that looked cool. And then when you see him crash out, and then he grows a beard, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a second! What just happened here?"
Yeah, then he becomes the old man at the end.
Yeah, but it was like, did he just die, or did time warp? What was going? It was really cool how it all came together, and it's like, all right, so you're actually aging this whole time when you come back, and all right, cool. It had a Sleeping Dogs vibe to me for the fighting, for the combat. So I'm all about that. Some of the other stuff, nothing really hit me up.
What you thought about Kina from the CGI that they released the gameplay
from the get-go?
And it's a time exclusive. Let's talk about it.
Yo, Lemon, come on, bro.
Time, yeah.
Let the man get
adding to the BS. I'm just adding to the BS because some people didn't know that.
No, it's time. We heard from the first time they showed it.
That's what I'm just saying. My bad.
Yeah.
All the games on that show outside
I thought it
of
was
what we
exclusive,
know
but it's
were-
timed exclusive.
No,
That's
Well,
what I'm at.
we're gonna get into it. I want to get people's thoughts before we get into
Oh, my bad,
the
my
other
bad, my
part of
bad.
it. Man, okay.
So I give it a meh plus. It's yeah, meh, or nah. Yeah, it's a meh plus. I don't like giving numbers because numbers are a value that people use to manipulate narratives, and it worked for me, but it wasn't like the greatest thing. You know what I mean? So I walked away happy. I didn't walk away excited. I didn't walk away like anticipating when's the next thing that they're going to show us. It was just like, all right, it's a decent show. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
All right.
So it's a meh.
Cool. All right. So Lemon, go ahead. What was your thoughts about the show?
Well, I ain't mean to interrupt or jump ahead, KMEG, but
no, I want you I want to just
mean-
get people's initial thoughts, and then I want to get into the meat of everything about the show and the games and stuff like that.
Seafood, Abe's Odyssey, the Final Fantasy, where they talk about they're gonna upgrade
remake in the DLC.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the small events, the reason these small events don't catapult your expectations because you got a lot of people out here who support a platform. Oh, they're gonna talk about the next VR. They're gonna say Jesus is gonna walk again on the Black River. That don't mean it's gonna happen. But for somebody showing games, launch dates, where it's going, platform support, PS4, PS5, it was a good show. Because I looked at Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I'm getting PS5 upgrades. I'm gonna stop where I'm at right now. I'm not playing it no more till June 11th or whatever the date was. Kena, I saw a CG. Oh, that game ain't gonna look like that. Get your ass out of here. I'm not gonna believe that. Now they show gameplay. Gameplay looked tight. Okay, now it's not an exclusive game, but a certain amount of time it's coming to Xbox. I got you because Microsoft pay for exclusives, aka Pub Jesus. When they PUBG's exclusive, I was like, y'all need to stop co-signing that because third-party developers need to make money. Yeah, you may go to another platform first, but you're gonna go to another platform to get that bread later on. So I saw Kena, right? And then I saw gameplay. I said, oh, I got a PS5. That's what I'm going to do. And it's going to look like that. I got it. But what I saw, I was happy with. You can't expect an E3 press conference out of a Inside Xbox or a State of Play. So when I told PK, you bugging. And this is earlier today. I see, dude, they showed gameplay and dates. I'm with that. That don't mean they gotta make the dates, but it looked fantastic. Okay, they explained that Crash Bandicoot, haptic feedback. I don't care about none of that. Show me what it looks like. Abe's Odyssey. Show me what it look like. Kena. Show me what it looks like. I don't want to see no CG intros. So I see, if Kena looked like that on PlayStation, I know what it looked like on my Xbox. So I was good with that. I just want to see gameplay and dates. So when people say, oh, it was trash, it was ultimate trash. No, it really was not. Because if a developer come out and say, listen, this is what we bring to the table, it doesn't have to be an E3 press conference, knock you off your sock situation. Just show me what I'm getting for my 65 or 70 bucks. And they did that. So I was very content with what I seen. I didn't anticipate anything. We seen Final Fantasy VII, but we didn't see Final Fantasy VII, which looks gorgeous on PlayStation 4, vanilla and Pro. But to get an PS5 update, and I ain't got to pay for it, I got the game already. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm good. So I was happy with what I saw. Was I over the top doing backflips? No. But guess what? That karate game, boy, I was excited. That's just the facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gamer, man. I don't care what platform it is. I spend money on both platforms. I want both platforms to impress me. And today, they showed me something. I said, okay, Abe's Odyssey and all that. I'll get that on Xbox. It'll look better. It'll play better. But for the games I consider getting on PlayStation exclusively, they showed me another aspect. How can you be mad? It's not about the platform you support. It's about the quality you get. That's what matters. And that's what made me say, okay, I could rock with that. Because at the end of the day, no matter if I got a Nintendo Switch or not, which I do, I haven't really ever been all in on a Nintendo Switch event. I just haven't. But PlayStation and Xbox, please impress me. And I've been impressed by both. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. I'm done.
Cool. All right, so we go to you, Slayer. What was your thoughts about the because I'm thinking that you're going to have a different take on this. Now, I just wanted to hear what Lemon's take was.
You know, I got home just in time to catch it, and I missed a very little bit of the Returnal part beginning. I assume that was the very beginning or the first game that was shown, right?
Well, so Crash was the first game, but yeah, Returnal.
Crash, right? Crash, but I already don't care about Crash like that. Like, it's not a game. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just don't care. Okay, just because I don't care. Like, oh my god. Okay.
Right.
Returnal. Okay. The part where they were showing the weapon, where it was like a green whip, kind of like Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I was kind of like, I'm 50-50 on this game because I've been eyeing this game for a while. I'm still kind of 50-50. I want it to be good. I didn't see anything that makes me for or against. But once again, I got to mention Breakfast with Boom this morning when I forget who it was who said that. Was that you, Dreadpool, who had said that you wish they had reversed the trailers or the demo trailers or whatever that we had seen?
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one should have been like the one on the State of Play and the one in State of Play should have been the first one. More,
yeah, I think it was Mojo that said that.
Yeah, I think it was. But I thought about that a lot all day actually when he said that. I'm like, because I'm wondering why I feel 50-50 on it, and I guess it's partially how they presented it. Like, I just see a dude in a suit with a gun. It kind of reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda in terms of the gunplay and jumping around, all that stuff was actually great. There's other parts of the game that's not, but that aspect was great. And Returnal looks just like it.
It's a woman, so in Returnal.
Oh, I mean, just the character I'm saying.
Yeah.
The character, the way it's moving around and the gunplay and the camera angle, it looked all good, but there's still more I need to see on that. Sifu, like everybody is saying, I'm a beat 'em up fan. I have lots of beat 'em ups. I play all the time. You know, I just beat River City Girls, you know, in between, you know, playing Cyberpunk. I finally beat it.
I need to play that. I got it, but I haven't played it yet.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about
that. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, shout out to Game Pass on that because I had bought that on PC. I pre-ordered it and then I never played it until it came to Game Pass, and that's why I played it. So at least they got my money on that game. It was well deserved. Sifu, like I say, love beat 'em ups, and I see this game and I see the combat and with the Wing Chun style. This is where Dreadpool's talking about. He gets the vibe of Sleeping Dogs. You know, because dude has the he's got the wooden dummy in the apartment, and you know you could practice on that, and then you know you got you practicing kung fu in there, and then you go out on the streets and you're better. So I recognize the fighting styles that the master or the Sifu is using, or this character is using in the game, and I'm real excited. And the aging aspect, so it's like a roguelike. So that means it's a beat 'em up, lots of replay value. You need that in beat 'em ups. You need replay value. You know, in different ways you could do things. So that game is looking great. But the one aspect, same old Sony, at the end of that segment, when they're showing the game, it's like on screen, they're showing the name of the game. It's coming out on PlayStation 5, PS4, and then we come to find out later PC. They don't even show that, I don't think, which is also typical Sony. But if you listen to the woman with the voiceover, she mentions PS5 and no one says anything about PS4. Like they're embarrassed to mention that, but we know where that comes from with the whole PlayStation fans, you know, getting, you know, acting all wild and and saying all the wild stuff they say all the time. So we got one in the chat. He's doing what he's doing as always. But there you go. I do gotta point that out because Sony's always been shifty with that. Like they never make it clear at first what platforms the game is on unless they have it truly exclusive, and then they're all open about it. But the rest of the show, I was real bored. And Dreadpool's like, don't give him, like, he doesn't like giving numbers to it. But the whole time before he said that I was planning to give it a 6, that's how I feel. But it's just like, after I saw Sifu and Kina, I didn't know it was multi-platform until after the fact. Another example of what I was saying. But after I saw that game, after that I was kind of like, boring. But at the same time, I didn't come in with expectations.
No, that's not what you were saying. I think you were saying something else. I think you were saying that.
No, right, but what? I can't hear the sound, so it doesn't matter. All I know is you're not making the point to me, so I don't care.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying,
he says the person says trash. Yes.
No, I didn't think it was. Well, you know what? At very first, I really did think it was trash, but then I thought about it. But after Kina, I didn't care. It was like boring. Nothing else I saw interested me. I didn't really care about what's going on. I didn't care. But then once again, this is the point I'm trying to make, that if you going having all these wild expectations, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and a fall. I've been here way too long. I've seen way too many of these, if it's just E3 or whatever, and you get all these high expectations. It was just a little thing. It showed a couple of games. I saw a couple of games I'm interested in. I got some more info on a couple of games. I saw the new game I'm definitely planning on getting. And, I still have some questions on others. And, I got something out of it, and it wasn't a waste of my time. And at first I felt like it was, but when I thought about it, not as much. But still, like, if I had to give it a number, maybe a 6, 6.5. It did some things for me. It could have did better, but it could have been way worse. So, side.
So you still think
I'm happy.
Can you hear that now?
Nope.
Damn it. Okay.
Nope.
All right.
I heard something real low though, but whatever.
Well, hold on. Maybe that's what it is. Hold on. Let me turn it up a little bit. Let's see if you hear it now.
Ah, damn it. I did help him all. It was that. Yep. There you go. Okay. I hear it now. I don't think it was trash. I
I just want to make sure I got it right.
You're happy with that one, Chris? I don't think it was trash. All right. I'm happy. And everybody's hyped for sequel. Everybody's talking about that game.
Right. Which is what I'm going to get into here after I get everybody's point. Okay. So what about you? Bloody? What did you think about the show overall?
I honestly thought it was average. It was okay. I mean, I liked it. I mean, they had some stuff that is interested. A lot of everything that was on it is going to be multiplats. I will say that.
Was it average, or did you really think deep down it was
trash? No, it wasn't trash. It was average.
Okay, all right.
Here's the thing: upgrades for Crash Bandicoot. Obviously, Crash Bandicoot is multiplat. It's going to come to others. The only thing that they got was the 3D audio. That's great. I was like, cool for them pushing their 3D audio now that they got. Abe's Oddworld Soulstorm is absolutely looking good. I already knew what to expect out of the game, seeing how from everything they've shown before. I already knew what to expect of Oddworld Soulstorm. They literally only have timed exclusivity. Oddworld has always been a very niche and smaller title, but still something that's a bit of a cult classic. Soulstorm is literally a remake of Abe's Exodus. And they already stated well ahead of time that they were going to look at bringing that game to other consoles. They just had it anywhere, or not even just consoles, just other platforms. So I like the new look of it. They really revamped from where it was with the original. They improved on what they did with new and tasty with the remake of the first game. So I'm really looking forward to that. Kina absolutely looks really nice. I was like, I do like that they showed off a lot more. Kina has always been kind of something that's had my eye since they first announced it. And the thing is, back then, I've always known that it was going to be time exclusive when that was revealed. But I do like seeing more of what it's going to look like. Sifu was the one that caught me by surprise. Everyone knows that I do like martial arts style games. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Sleeping Dogs, obviously Yakuza, which has a lot of martial arts aspects of it, but it's more street oriented. But the way that they're doing this to mix it with the roguelite, it's great. It gave me vibes that was similar to Absolver. If anyone has ever played Absolver, that's a real martial arts style game that has a roguelite element to it. But I like the way that they have it with the aging aspect and what that plays into. The upgrade to Final Fantasy VII Remake is great. I was like, I know that there was a lot of mixed feelings on how people were going to get when it came to upgrades, if they were going to have to pay for it or not. Since this isn't first party, I didn't think that they would, even despite what happened previously with Miles Morales and other games. The fact that it's going to be free, that's great. I'm pretty sure that most companies are starting to do these cross-gen upgrade games for free. But the biggest thing is that they're adding an improved frame rate, improved graphics. More than anything, they're adding a brand new expansion with Yuffie storyline. I like that. That's really great. Here's the biggest thing that has been an issue with everything that they did, and PK mentioned this. Also, to touch up real quick, Returnal has always been one of the games that I've been looking forward to, because it very much reminds me of Recore and Metroid Prime. That gunplay of having different weapons based on one weapon.
Thank you, Bloody. You said it, because I was ready to say it once everybody was done. That game reminds me so much of Recore, and I'm like, people are clamoring for it.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it's very much similar to Recore, which is, again, based on Metroid Prime, with that same gunplay of, hey, you get different weapons that only affect certain types of enemies. Outside of that, it doesn't do anything. But the thing is that it has much better traversal and movement, and then the fact that it has a roguelike element to it. I feel that if Recore was made today, that it would be more similar to Returnal compared to what it was when it came out. And honestly, I would like to see that if a sequel ever got made for Recore, that they take a lot of inspiration from the later Metroid games, as well as taking an idea of what Returnal's doing. And that's a great improvement, because that style of gameplay is not prominent, but it's starting to become more popular, and I'm liking that. But I have a big issue with what they did with the state of play. And this is something PK touched on, and this is something I had a conversation with my girlfriend about, who brought up something very prominent. And it started with, she mentioned it specifically with Final Fantasy VII. And then PK mentioned something, or Sick mentioned something that also stuck out to me. The upgraded version for everything that's going to be coming to Final Fantasy VII Remake, especially the Yuffie expansion, is only going to be a next-gen edition. They're basically making the integrated edition as only a full next-gen optimized version. If you want the Yuffie DLC or expansion in that integrated edition, you have to have a PS5. He mentioned that every announcement for the trailers always kept mentioning PS5 and not what other consoles it's going to be, even if there was a screenshot or if there was a still image that said PS5, PS4, and potentially other or platforms, specifically PC, because obviously they're not going to mention Xbox or anything else like that. But the fact is that they were very prominent about pushing the fact that all these games are specifically for PS5, and they're really hammering the fact that it's PS5, and especially with Final Fantasy VII. That struck a chord with me, because the fact that they're really goading and pressuring the fans to get a PS5, yet there's still a massive shortage issue with their stock for supply of PS5 consoles, and more so the fact of how many are currently in the hands of scalpers. Why are you going to make an expansion for probably one of the biggest games that launched on your console a year ago, and make this only for a next-gen version when it's so hard to get a next-gen console? Well, they would have known about this issue for a while,
right?
If they didn't want to do.
But bloody. No. But no. Hold on. It's the same thing with Lemon, because you're getting a little bit away from what I want to. I just want to know what you thought about the show, and then we'll tear down everything, and then it'll just be a free for all where everybody can just say what they want to say, without waiting for turns. I just wanted to get everybody's thought about the show. And what they thought about the games themselves. But the tear down of what you're doing, I agree with, but I want to get that after I get everybody's thoughts about it. So reel it back and keep that. But you're right, I totally agree. But just tell me about the game aspects and what you thought about the show just by itself, and then we'll break down everything else right after that.
I said the show mentioned stuff that we've already known about. Glad to see that they did more. I felt that it was a good show, but it was an average show. I was just like, oh, that's cool, but nothing that makes me say I need to go out and get a PlayStation 5 now or anything. But for the fans of it, it's great. A lot of that stuff I'm looking forward to, but overall it was a nice experience, but nothing to be, right home about. But that's all it needs to be. It just needs to be a good enough thing to just showcase what they want to showcase. And that's realistically all it is.
Okay. All right, cool. PK, what you think about the show?
I don't have much to add outside of Sifu, Final Fantasy VII,
Every
and
time somebody say Sifu, I'm finna show the old man rubbing his beard because that was clean though. I did like that.
and Kenya. So I'm more excited about the Final Fantasy. I ain't gonna lie, because this being able to add extra content and give backstory to Yuffie, which wasn't in the original game. We just assumed a lot of stuff happened off screen. So that's always a plus. Though I want to point out that those who are getting it free on PlayStation Plus will not get the free upgrade or the expansion, so they will have to buy the game in order to get that. Just FYI for any of those people who think they're getting over, it's not going to happen. They want their money, so you got to spend the money to get it.
You're right.
At the end of the day, that was probably my highlight, but at the same time, me, I was not super impressed, not because the games wasn't great, but it was kind of like I could have just watched the trailer and been done with it.
Okay. All right. Great point. All right. What about you, Rain?
For me personally, I thought it was all right. Like everybody else has been saying, just to tidy it up, Sifu is the one that sticks out. It's made by the same people who made Absolver, which are Slow Clap.
Slow Clap Entertainment, yeah.
And Absolver is a solid game. They had a solid combat mechanic in there. Definitely, I feel like they're doing their own thing as far as it goes with the fighting genre. So I definitely find it dope for that. But as far as everything else that was in the direct, I mean, you got the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Oddworld, like we've been talking about. Kenna's been the hot topic on everybody's mind. Kenna's cool. Again, I believe it's coming to PC also. Whether it's going to be day one, we don't know yet.
Day one,
but if it's going to be on PC
Epic.
day one, it might be something that I try out. But I'm not particularly interested in it. We got Deathloop. Deathloop looks cool. Again, it's one of those that I might check it out. But again, I don't have a PlayStation. I'm not worried about it. If it's not on PC, I'm probably not going to cop it. But then the Final Fantasy, that's the one that really piques my ears. Just because I know Final Fantasy VII, the remake, is something that I would consider playing on PlayStation. But considering that there's a high chance that it's also going to be coming to Xbox, and then also possibly coming to PC at some point, it's not a reason to buy an entire system for that specific game. But I do like what they're doing with it. They're upgrading it. Cool. I just want them to finish the series off. Again, I know they're going into a different direction with the game overall. But again, we need the next part. What's the next part to the game? So that your consumer and the fans can continue enjoying the series for what it is. I feel like that should be the real focus. When is that releasing? The Knockout City was cool. Looks like a party game. Again, something that if it's free to play, is definitely something to consider.
That's what's playing right now. Shout out to Pred. This is gameplay right here. The game looks fun.
Facts.
I play it.
Facts. It definitely looks like a good time. Something I could just pop on and just run a couple rounds. You know what I mean? And kick it with the homies or whatever the case might be. Maybe even go in solo and just whip up on some people. But it looks dope. And other than that, man, Returnal, we all, I think there's a lot of hype on that right now. Not necessarily, I won't say a lot of hype, but there's an expectation for it right now. It looks extremely interesting, but again, it's not something that's gonna pique my interest enough to get an entire console for. So if it's not on PC, man, I'm probably not I'm probably gonna leave it at what it is. I hope it's a great game though. There's a lot going for it. And Crash, man, what can we say? I mean, again, the old school keeps just coming back. He released new Crash game, and it's talking to the people to the point where they're making sure that it's getting the enhancement. So, hey, we got that to look forward to. So, I mean, overall, again, I mean, I'm not a number guy as far as like rating it or whatever the case. But it was solid. I mean, it was cool. I mean, again, if you were going in here expecting for there to be a God of War or a Horizon, you know what I'm saying, something, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, we still got a lot of crazy things going on in the world. People are still adjusting. Some people have adjusted better than others. Or, I mean, this could mean something deeper. Who knows? But yeah, man, it is what it is.
All right. All right, and Sinister. Last but not least, brother, I wanted to get your thoughts on the show. Let us hear it. What did you think about it?
I mean, it's good. I mean, I ain't expecting anything great about it, things like that. But I mean, overall, yeah, like some of the games that I pointed out, like Returnal, Sifu, Kena, especially Kena. Final Fantasy. Yeah, of course, that was one of the top ones, but. I mean, of course, Crash because my wife enjoys that game, and it's cool that getting an update.
I'm happy for the 60 frames update for Crash. Honestly, Crash is very.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah,
especially that game that needs to be 60 frames. Those precision platformer games are absolutely required 60 frames.
Oh yes. I mean, 60 frames, definitely be the minimum. But as far as the show overall, like I said, I didn't go in there with a high expectation or anything. It's like, but the show was decent, and but to me, it was way better than that trash ass direct that we had from Nintendo.
Oh Lord,
that's all I got to say about it.
Ooh, Nintendo, man. Oh man. All right.
I don't get no shit about it.
Yeah.
The reason that the direct was trash is because they're focused on Pokemon.
Oh, y'all disrespectful. Try. Okay. Anyway, all right. So, for me, what I thought about the show, I thought it was good. I'm on Lemon with this. I'm with my boy Lemon on this one for sure. It's that anytime that they show me games, I'm excited. I'm not as critical at all. Even as I won't even say lackluster because there were some shows that were really bad, but I still found something enjoyable out of some of those shows that were out there. Like I don't know, last year I'm trying to think what was the worst show. EA wasn't that great, but I still was excited about when they showed the Battlefield and the Dragon and just the little clips of some of the games that's going to be coming out, and I just was like, yo, but what was it? Revolver's something. What is that studio called? Something Revolver.
Devolver Digital.
Yeah, Devolver Digital. Their thing was so ridiculous. Like their thing last year was so ridiculous, but I can't even give that any rating or anything. But because they didn't have that many games to show, but they made it into like a episode of like. The evil corporations taking over, the gamers and making them say crazy stuff and lie to try to get people to bait to the game. It was wild, but anytime you show us new gameplay, and of course, like for Kena, for Final Fantasy, all the stuff that they would show from Crash, Returnal, all that stuff. Yeah, no, I'm just happy to see that there's games that's coming. I did find it a little bit crazy that there was no Horizon, it was Horizon Forbidden West. Now, this is the segue to the next topic, which kind of going to blend in everything that we're going to say, and this is just going to be an open discussion. So if you don't start saying nothing, then you just ass out, because I don't want to have everybody I want everybody to say what they want to say, but we press it for time for other stuff that we need to talk about. So, this all kind of goes in of like the rumors are going in of also about the about Horizon might not come out this year. God of War was slated to come out this year, but it's not. Then you also have the fact that now PC games PC gamers are going to be eating good off of the PlayStation used to be exclusives or considered console exclusives. I think that's the new way to say it. How do you guys feel about this? And anybody could jump in and say this, because to me, I find it that even though the State of Play was an average show, but they still dropped the ball because they left a lot of PlayStation gamers, in my opinion, hanging. They gave all these indications that PlayStation was still about what they were about. Then they changed it up. They lied about backwards compatibility and everything else. Now you find out that more of their exclusives are going to be coming to PC. And then the games that they showed, what was it, 95% of those games are all going to be multiplat? What in the hell is going on with Sony, guys? What do you
when
think
it came to
about
that PC stuff, that was since last year they gave up the GOAT with that one. Like you should have known this was already in the plans. And like the fact that God of War isn't coming this year or seeming like and all these other things.
Well,
like,
Gran Turismo's not coming either. That was supposed to be
Gran
slated to come out
Turismo
this
always
year.
gets delayed at least once. I'm not even like, I don't even see that as any kind of L. That's par for the course when it comes to Gran Turismo, particularly, right? So all of this stuff, like a lot of people.
So PlayStation doesn't.
Type...
So PlayStation can get to just say
anything.
Oh
no. I was just about to say.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
It's not even so much about Sony, although the specific things that you brought up about the backwards, about generations and all that other stuff. Those lies they've made up. But the majority of the narrative was really these PlayStation fanboys saying all this stuff, and they're the ones that make this this move towards the PC seem so messed up, like it disproves everything they were saying it and makes these people look worse than they already are. That's what they did. It was more them than Sony. But the writing was on the wall. They started with this last year. We all knew this was going to happen. This has been happening. Microsoft did it years ago, and they got a lot of flack for it. But it's the thing to do. It's, what are you, brain dead, stupid? Like, money. It's money. Easy money.
Yeah, it's like for the developers, they need the money. More money going around.
Money. Yeah, they made the money on the consoles. Y'all had that exclusive for as long as up until they felt like nobody else was really buying the game like that, and they were like, all right, call in the PC horde, let them have at it now. That's it. It's just more money for them. It's an obvious move.
I mean, like what Horizon Zero Dawn, it's great it's going to PC, there's like more people, who are unable to get a PS4, well, they get a second chance, like, hey, this is on PC, hey, I'm all good, and plus I got all the DLC with it. I mean, that's more money for Guerrilla Games, coming off from the PC players.
Facts.
And things like that. So,
no, you're making a great point.
We see more of them.
And you would think the PlayStation stands would be happy about that. Not the fans, but the stands, because they all said that they had gaming PCs because they were
right.
But they had gaming PCs so they can play Xbox games. So I mean, so why are they complaining? So that's I don't get it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it makes it just makes it's because of all the narratives that they started. It wasn't Sony, it was them. So everything that they've said, and it's been a week or two of that, really. Like all these things, just like the SOC that we talked about last week, all these things, all these long standing piles of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All the misinformation and lies and try to portray themselves some kind of way. They set themselves up for this. But for everybody else, the real gamers, this is not a problem. This is all good. And for Sony, they chose to do this for the same reason any sensible company like Microsoft, when Microsoft did it, but got flack for it. It's easy money.
Right. That's what's bothering me more than anything. It's just, look, okay, the media was crashing down on Microsoft back in 2016 when they first, 2016, 2017 when they first started putting it, because when Quantum Break come out? 2016, I think?
Quantum Break came out in 2014.
2014? So they did it in 2015 then. They started, I guess, because I think it was a little bit afterwards, and then they decided to drop that game out there on the PC, and then they did, and then of course
Play Anywhere program.
Yeah, the Play Anywhere program, and so the media was on that same wavelength with, with a certain type of community by saying, look, you're tearing down, you're making people not want to buy your console behind this, and now it's kind of like crickets, or it's like, well, this is smart for Sony to do. Like, I don't get why people. I know that there's a lot of people that figure this out, but I'm just talking about for the people who still listens to some of these other people out here that's been on the same rhetoric for all these years, and they've been wrong on the wrong side every time. Like, it just doesn't make sense when Mark Cerny and Amy Hennig themselves both come out and and they have a video, and then also they're well, I don't know if it was a video, but I know it was something that I read for sure, where they were talking about the expense of games. They were adamant about, look, things are going to have to change with single player games. And then when Phil made that whole point about, and EA, when they both got flack for they were trying to explain how they felt about single player games, it's just a different animal compared to multiplayer, because multiplayer generates the most money. Everybody just took that and jumped on it. But Amy Hennig and Mark Cerny were saying the same thing. They just said it the right way compared to what Phil and what the guy at EA said at the time. So, single player games, they cost so much more money. It costs so much money. And when, especially, okay, let's say like Ghost of Tsushima, right? I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's a fantastic game.
Same here.
But what if that
game of the year last year.
But what if that game, okay, we could have loved it, but what if everybody else hated it? That's a lot of money that Sony would have been losing out if that game wasn't successful. We just don't know these days of what games are going to do well and what's not. And then on top of that, that's a single player experience. Yes, they're still in demand and people still want them, but the media, in my opinion, has gone apeshit crazy on trying to make it about single player games or nothing else matters. Like, all these games matter in order for it to all work. But I know that I'm kind of jumping around on all of this, but to me, I think it's all clamored in, because it's like PlayStation sending these games to a PC shouldn't have never been a thing or a main topic for anybody's podcast, in my opinion. I think it's the stupidest thing, but because there's so many people that was adamant and hated the fact that Xbox was doing it, I don't know why is the gaming public so against games going to other places? If what's the point of all that?
I mean, some of them just are being hypocritical of it, but the thing is, like, those who are complaining, like, oh, why they're exclusively going to PC, you got to think about it. We're in the suits. You're not in top of, at the top in those board meetings making those key decisions. So basically, you can sit there and complain all you want. Sony makes the decision and say, hey, Sony, look, we want to make more money. It's like, hey, let's put these games on PC. It's like I said, some of these people didn't chance to play them on the console. So, hey, like I mentioned earlier, they get a second chance to play these games. Think about it. Sony sees it as a win. That's more money coming in.
It is a win. I mean, there's no question about it. It's a win. You have what, 700 million, 800 million PC gamers out there? How the hell is that? You only have 100 some million consoles out there that sold. I mean, now that's a lot of consoles for a PlayStation 4. You don't have 4 or 5 million PlayStation 5s out there. You combine both of those consoles together, that's only 120 million consoles compared to a PC fan base that's almost close to 1 billion. You don't see that as a win? Yeah, I mean, like, when Xbox fans were going crazy, when Xbox stands was acting a fool, this is ridiculous, you're hurting the Xbox brand. No, you're not. You're helping it, because if people accepted it more, then those sequels that we've been craving would probably be right there. But because there was so much hate and divisiveness amongst the Xbox community, shit, I don't even know if we'll ever see any of those games, except for maybe Killer Instinct, because that was already kind of set in stone. I heard that from Phil's mouth himself, saying that he was going to bring that game back, but they're just looking for the right developer. So that to me is like, if that's the only one that comes back from all the good games that was out there that came from last gen, I know there'll be a Sea of Thieves and another State of Decay. We've already seen that, we've already seen the success with. But when you talk about Quantum Break and Rise and all the rest of them, they're up in the air, and that's what's really unfortunate because PlayStation can do that and still get the love for it, but Xbox, I don't know, and you know what I'm saying. I thought a lot more guys would be involved in this, but you know.
See, here's the thing. I was walking down the sidewalk, right? I parked my car and I went to go to the mailbox. I was walking down the sidewalk and I saw a $100 bill, and I said, "Oh shit, I'll just leave that there and just keep on walking." That's the mentality of some of these people. No, you're going to go for the money, right?
Right.
You're going to see, is that $100 actually $100? Let's put it out there and reach for it and see what's going to happen. You know, they already know that we've already sold as much, you know, as we can on these consoles, right? So when you bring in a PC, that's a whole new crew of people that have yet to play it, that want to play it, and you know, you do some upgrades, you do some other things to it, entice them even more to go ahead and get the, you know, Ultimate Edition, whatever. But that's the thing. People decide that, you know, hey, I'm gatekeeping. This is my thing, and it's not yours. No, it's not yours. It's not yours to gatekeep. It's the companies. It's those developers. It's the publishers' decision if they want to move on. You know, and for them to live on, they need that money. And hey, money's always good, right? We wouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Why would they? And it's just the hypocrites that do all this and make it a bigger scene than it really is, you know?
Right.
So what? It's a 4-year-old game. Why do you care now? Right. You haven't cared, you know, in the past 3 years. It's a one-and-done game, right? Everything's a one-and-done game. Every game, even multiplayer games, are one-and-done. Think about it. The only time that they're not one and done is when they become microtransactions. Other than that, it's a one and done. You purchase that game. You can't purchase that game again unless it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's a great point because that's the game that keeps on ticking. I at this point have no idea how that game keeps continuing to sell like it is. I know that, you know,
online. Literally online.
It's the online. Yeah, there's just throw something new in there, something updated just to keep
role
it going.
playing.
Between the online, the discounts for the shark cards and all that stuff, sometimes it's cheaper just to buy a whole new game and get the extra shark cards back on there.
Oh, so basically the people that are already playing the game, they're like, no, if I'm not going to pay for this extra DLC or whatever, I'm just going to buy the game because it's on sale and it's going to have all the shark cards that I want that's available. That's what you're saying that a lot of people are doing?
Yep.
Between the two of them,
I didn't even think about that. Man, that is crazy.
Look at when they have the sale. They have the sale for whatever with the mega shark or the whale shark or whatever, you know, all that stuff. But when you look, if you buy those shark cards separately, it costs more. You buy it with the game, it's cheaper.
That makes a lot of sense, and I didn't even think about it. I never thought of it that way. And then people...
You never listen to me.
Well, no, I listen to you. I mean, you always have a joke in front of it, and sometimes it's kind of stale, and I'm like, oh...
Well, you know...
But then when you do a good joke, and then when you say something, then I'm like, damn! Surprise, motherfucker! I'm like, damn, this dude is great with his jokes, and then he's making really great points. But no, you make great points. I just never thought of it from that standpoint about that. And then while you guys are saying this, well then people shouldn't bitch about microtransactions because they're not ever going away if that's the case. Nope. They're never going to go away.
Microtransactions aren't going anywhere, that's for sure.
They're never going away.
EA is making more money off of the micros.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter.
Hey, let's bring it back though.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. We have to get off of that so we can get onto the, so we can get to the last two topics. I'll skip there. I know what you're gonna do.
I just want I understand. I don't want to get this topic out because I gotta get ready to dip.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you guys say about it? Well, hold on. Let me get to the Hinosis. Thank you, Hinosis. Really appreciate it, brother. You are very thank you. You are the best, man. He says, great discussion, lads. Thank you. What did you have to say, Bloody?
Here's the thing, right? I think that people have the worst kind of mentality when it comes to this. The thing is, devs, even if they do exclusives or even timed exclusive and put it on one platform, the fact is they do what they can based on funds. Some of the ones that put out only on one platform is because that's all that they can afford at the time. But guess what? They already have the base source code. They already have everything else. Porting and redoing a lot to fit on other platforms just depends on the engine as well as what tools they have available to be able to transfer those over to a different game. Look at what Microsoft has built in with what they're doing with the Series X and PC with DirectX Ultimate, making it easier than ever to port games from PC to Xbox and vice versa. So now there's less hassle and less money that the devs and the publishers will have to use to be able to make those. The fact is, while these games are selling and very popular on the PlayStation, you got to look at the baseline of these numbers. And I think that's where people want to live in their bubble, live in their ignorance, and not understand. Yes, these games are great. Yes, these games are successful. But guess what? How is it that you have a console that has 110 million sold, but some of these games are only topping out at 10 million?
Thank you.
Maybe 15 million within a year.
Yeah,
Within
15 million at the highest.
Within maybe 3. How it took Horizon Zero Dawn, what, 2 years? Maybe 2.5 to hit the 10 million for their attach rate. God of War broke their records for how quick it sold, but it was still what, 10 million within a couple months. Where did it end at now? And that's not knocking the games. I bought the games. People can't ever disrespect me because I bought the collector's edition of God of War before I even had a PS4 because I like that game. All right. But the fact is, it still comes down to money. Microsoft has always been ahead of the trends and always seen where the markets are going, but people give them flack. And even Switch games, some of those games that were on Switch outside of first party end up going to PC or other platforms because the devs need to help fund those games. Here's the thing. People need to understand that Sony as a business has been losing money out on a lot of their divisions. So they need other ways to make revenue and recoup certain losses. While these games are successful, make money, they can make more money. Right now, they're starting and testing it. And with Horizon Zero Dawn, they saw that there are people on PC who wanted that game, but may not have gotten the chance or may be able to get a PS4. Or maybe there's people who don't want a PS4. There's definitely a large community out there of PC-only people who don't want consoles. Why are you going to hold those games back if there's a way to make money off of them? So they started by using older games that are a couple years older. They saw the success. Jim Ryan himself said, hey, we didn't see any hindrance to our sales and actually saw that it was quite successful, so we want to do it more going forward. Microsoft could have told you that 2 years ago. There's a reason they made that move, and the move is really not a matter of if, but when were they going to start doing more, especially after they saw that. We saw it with Death Stranding, but guess what? Death Stranding went through a third-party publisher because of the fact that they weren't going to go with the original publisher, but they went through another publisher who helped to put it on PC. Now, the major question that people should be asking is, are they going to take the full page out of Microsoft's handbook and go day and date on PC? That's where you should be wondering. But all these big exclusives, they're going to be console exclusive. They're still going to launch on your console first. They may either be day and date on PC, or maybe they'll go to PC months later, maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later. But guess what? They're not going to leave that money on the table when they know that they can get more off of it,
No.
especially when their company as a whole is losing money in other divisions. People got to remember, Sony is multifaceted. They have a movie division, which has lost money. They have a TV division, which has lost money. They have a
music
camera division, which is breaking but still losing money, but barely making even, if even that. Their biggest success right now is their biggest success is the PlayStation brand. So they're going to utilize any available potential to make more money off of that. And guess what? They can use a 2-year-old game because of the fact that they're not going to have to put a lot more into development into it because it's already done. It's already made its initial sales, which is when it's going to hit the biggest. But when they put out a game on another platform, it sells. Look at Halo Master Chief Collection alone on Steam. How is it that game which is a compilation of 5 games from the Halo franchise, or 6 or whatever, that are years old. And the fact that now that it's on PC, it was the #1 selling game on the Steam market.
And it wasn't the first time it was on PC.
Exactly.
No, you're right.
But this is they now had the full thing, and it was on Steam, and it sold instantly.
Right, and that's something that ATL is saying too that makes a lot of sense as well, is that the pandemic is killing the Sony movie market. You know what I'm saying? Is killing it.
Yes.
The movie games are going to be in really big trouble and I don't think personally that that things are not going to get back into real normal until probably 2023.
And that's absolutely that. Honestly, probably mid 2022 to 2023 is accurate. But here's the thing: is the fact of when you're Sony and you see that a compilation. And no, Master Chief Collection has been around for almost 7-8 years because that came out at the launch of the Xbox One. Yeah. Broken, but guess what?
Microsoft spent it came out a year before Halo 5, yeah.
But they spent almost a better part of 6-7 years fixing that, adding to the games that weren't in that collection, improving the multiplayer, adding new events in that, all leading up to whatever they're about to do with Halo Infinite. And you're telling me that when they take an 8-year-old game and put it on PC and it sells millions and it selling game on PC, you're not going to want to do that with an older title that you can afford to use? Why not? I think that's where both sides, and it's not just it's bad on Sony, but Xbox fans are the same way. There's this delusion of what these companies are going to do.
No, I think the old Xbox fan was in delusion. The ones that turned about face and started being all about Sony. Those were the people that were trying to tell gamers that that the games going on PC was not considered to be exclusive, for one, which I always thought that was ignorant, but hey, everybody can have that opinion.
That's why you're looking at it more.
Was about Japanese games and how they weren't important and how those Japanese games shouldn't come to Xbox, which I thought that was just asinine, especially if you played on the 360 or the Xbox or the OG Xbox, of how much Japanese support that the Xbox had back then. But go ahead.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying is that this belief that these games wouldn't come to PC eventually was just an absolute fallacy, because everything that honestly, anything that Microsoft has done was always hated at first, but guess what? Generally accepted, from their online with how they started doing cloud servers to the fact of the always online and aspects of DRM and how much that is basically everything nowadays to all digital. Pretty much everything is digital nowadays. The fact is they've always been ahead of the curve, and everyone seems to pick up on it and realize, oh, this is probably the right decision. The only thing that these Sony fans need to worry about is, or not even worry about, just wonder, is it going to ever be day and date, or is it always going to be a year or two after a game has come out?
That's it.
If you really want to have something to be angry about or worry about, that's all you need to know. And even then, guess what? You should be happy if this game goes to more platforms and sells more. Because guess what? That means more money for that developer. That also guarantees sequels and better.
Microsoft does that, and it's not a problem.
Exactly.
Right. I you know what I'm saying, we gotta move on, Bloody. So I'm pretty sure you're about to get ready to get out of here. So tell everybody where they can find you at.
Everyone, y'all know where y'all can find me. Y'all can find me on Twitter, y'all can find me on Instagram, y'all can find me on YouTube, y'all can find me on Twitch, and over on Facebook Gaming, all at Bloody Nuts. You can find me talking about all things anime, news, movies, and of course playing all sorts of crazy games. And more than likely, you'll find me playing Yakuza with some drinks in hand. So you already know what it is. Make sure y'all follow me, keep up, and see all the stupid shit that I say anywhere. But until then, guys, y'all all stay beautiful, y'all stay amazing, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Thanks, Bloody. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
He said thank you.
Later, homie.
So that was the thing. So anybody want to touch up on what Bloody was talking about before we talk about Anthem next?
I mean, the only thing is PC was doing it first. Xbox took over the DRM on top of what was already being done, and now Sony's doing it too. So what's the big deal? Why we, I don't understand why people are still freaking out about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think about these companies that they're following the playbook and say, "Hey, the C1 is doing it. Hey, it's successful." It's like, "Hey, why not? Hey, let me see that playbook."
Yeah.
Right. And then on top of that, you got to look at the competition. The competition was dormant at 2 years ago. I mean, well, no, but I say about 4 or 5 years. But now the competition is doing some crazy shit. Like they're buying whole companies that has multiple studios like ZeniMax. Like, yo, we got to do something. Then, of course, we'll see if we got time to try to tackle that last topic. But but you also got other big conglomerates coming in like Google and Amazon, and they have way much more money than we could possibly imagine. I mean, they're bigger. They got more money than the competition that we've been dealing with for almost 20 years. So like, no, like hell no. We got to do something, because if you still want these God of Wars and these Horizon Forbidden West, or just in a sequel to Days Gone and all these other titles, and you want them to look better and have all of these special big fantastic consoles and all the gadgets and bells and whistles, then you're going to have to pay. And that was a point that I said on Next Podcast last night, was also too, if these games are successful, do you think that the actors and actresses, the voice actors of these games, the people in the mocap suits, you think that they're going to take a pay cut because you don't want to pay extra for your game?
Hell no.
Thank you. So that's the thing also you got to put in consideration. Like, they're looking at like, oh, God of War sold 20 million? Shit. I think, well, Kratos needs a raise. I think that Atriox needs a raise. I think that everybody else that did the game needs a raise. So that's
Isn't that what happened with the Claptrap?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just the reality of it. That's what he said with the Claptrap. Yes, I mean, he wanted a raise. So, you're stupid.
Handsome Jack took a big bonus.
But no, you're right. But that's the thing, though. It's like, the more that these games have sequels, people need to start thinking like, okay, yeah, it's a sequel, but these people aren't getting paid the same way. They have to pay these people extra for their services. That's just business. And of course, yeah, we're still kind of, we almost got hit across the head with Microsoft trying to do something slick with the whole, charging us extra for the whole Xbox Live stuff. And then the gamers revolted. But PlayStation, like, we charging you this $10 extra, and then I understand that there's PlayStation fans that's pissed off about that too, but you know what the difference is that they're just accepting it, and PlayStation is going to keep on going further and further until the gaming community just jumps in and say, look, you got to stop it, you got to slow down. So, but this isn't the thing to get upset about if seeing games on like MLB The Show. Are you kidding me? You know how much more revenue that they're going to get? You're going to have also the PlayStation gamers that's going to buy MLB, and then you're going to have Xbox gamers. I'm finna buy that shit. I'm finna gift it to somebody. That's going to be one of my giveaways. And I don't do giveaways, but I feel that it's just a great time, to do something like that. And that's helping Sony out. That's not helping, but I don't care about that. It's just great that game is available to come to gamers, and they're gonna make a bunch of more money when they put that on other platforms. So stop tripping. Just be happy that your game is on the PlayStation or on the Xbox. If you ain't caring about PC, why the hell are you worried about them games going on PC? That's all I gotta say about that. But anyway,
I'm saying you don't work for Sony. It's like
no. So
for Sony, you don't work for Microsoft. You don't make those kind of decisions.
No. So okay, Anthem. I wanted to avoid it, and so I'll take my L. I said that in 2.0 was going to happen, and EA shot me in the foot, man. They told me it ain't happening. So, any of you guys want to say anything? Y'all want to punch me across the head, make my feelings hurt? Go ahead.
That's a felony, EA.
Man. I mean, what y'all want to do, man? Just
go ahead.
Go ahead.
The only thing I want to say is Rest in peace.
Call the Undertaker.
Yeah, it's typical EA though. Like, did you really expect them to do anything? Like,
Well, okay.
I say it all the time
I'm
about
gonna let
EA.
y'all have y'all slander, but I got a reason. I know the reason why they're doing it. But go ahead, sucker.
This is typical EA. They always. I talk about this all the time. Typical EA. You see the writing on the wall. Listen, when the game first came out and it fell flat on its face, right? That was the point when they should have did what they did, for example, with Rainbow Six, okay? And other games that fell flat on their face when they first came out. They dusted themselves off. They got to work. EA had a small development team on this. This is EA, one of the biggest publishers around. They had the money and the resources to get people on this to improve this game. But they had a little small team, and they had to be the ones to work on the 2.0. They showed it to the folks to say if it's going to continue on or not. And this is EA. You already know what they're going to say, no matter how much work they put in. Like, who really expected this? Sorry, KMEGA. Like, this was obvious.
You know what? That's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. My feelings is hurt right now. Yeah, it's okay.
Anthem is just not. It's not their bread and butter like FIFA.
It is what it is.
Yeah. It is.
Exactly. It's not paying their bills.
It is. Okay. Right now, my feelings. When I first heard it, I was like,
"Hello, darkness, my old friend."
It was bad. It was hard for me.
Oh my god,
okay.
he on X Games mode.
But it's all right though.
Wow, man, yeah. It's a sad day, man, because
I love Anthem, man. I love that game, man. I love it.
The game had a lot of potential, and it's crazy that they dropped the ball on it. But it is what it is. They got 2 more titles to really try to prove the point. BioWare's going to hype up the train again. EA is going to hype up the train again with this Mass Effect release. Putting the collection together and putting some makeup on it. So, and that's what they need to focus on, making sure that next Dragon Age game is where it needs to be, and that Mass Effect 4 it moves the needle, man. I mean, there's not much else to say.
And that's the whole point. That's the reason why I was like, I get it, because it was only a small team that was working on the 2.0.
Right.
But after me beating Dragon Age Inquisition, I understand how important that game, Dragon Age, is. Now, I've played Origins and played Dragon Age 2, but it's been a huge gap between those games and then when I played Inquisition and beat it just about a month ago. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, no, this game is amazing. And so I see why they have to go all in with Dragon Age 4. And then I also see why they have to go all in on Mass Effect, because like I think it was Sinister that said it's their bread and butter. And I think you said that as too, Rain. I think everybody was saying that. Those are the pinnacle games. This game, Anthem, is a great startup game, but they're not on the level. They're not higher tier level, a higher tier level like the games that we were just talking about.
See, like this, somebody else needs to pick up that IP and do something with it.
No,
because there's a lot
of
potential. I just think it's dead there.
I think it's going to go back. That's the question I want to ask you before we get to this last topic. Okay, so I'm asking all you guys, and just jump in and say yes or no. But do you guys think the Anthem is dead?
Yes, it's dead.
Yes, it's dead. It didn't have to be.
Then DOA.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's dead. It's dead. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It needs a new development.
They're supporting it, and only having like 20 developers working on it, and you know what I mean. And there was no content coming in. We just talked about Rainbow Six, right?
Yeah.
They screwed up, but guess what? They came back. They kept on pushing more and more information.
Well, Ubisoft is the king of that, though. So I mean, you know what I'm saying. So
don't we watch others and learn from them and make it better than what they do?
Yep.
Well, that's why I'm saying
in life, same way.
Well, that's why I'm saying that I just personally, deep down in my core, I just don't feel like they're just going to abandon it like that. But I mean, because of the fact of so much potential, because guarantee you, if EA lets that property go, I mean, listen, they may hold the patent on the name and the little story that was within the game. But best be man, Ubisoft or Sony or someone will be all over making a game just like that and just put their spin behind it. The first thing that comes to my mind is Ubisoft. Like that would be right up their alley. What you talking about? A 3-player online experience, and all you need to do is put, you know what I'm saying?
It was their destiny, basically.
Yeah, right. Like what? Like
that was the whole idea of it.
That would, man. Somebody would copy that so quick. That's why I have in my heart that they just wouldn't be that ignorant and let that go. But I know you guys. I mean, you was right on this one. You know what I'm saying? So I was wrong on it. So you know. And,
it's just the reality.
Don says, "Give me a team of 50, and I'll make it happen."
Hey, EA, if you listening, give it to the Don.
But KMEGA, the reason you feel this way, and it's because, like, we're talking, harsh truth, but you see the potential in all these things in the game, so you feel as a gamer, it could be. But we know EA, we all know EA. I talk about them all the time about this aspect of them, and you just know. It's EA. Just no. It's already done.
Listen,
I'm not on their face.
I'm not on that train of where EA is just awful all the time. Like
I'm not saying they're awful all the time, but when situations like this is always the choice they make. Exactly, their track makers proves this.
Okay, but look how long EA's been in the game. EA's been around for 40 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that. Yeah, about 40 years.
Yeah, about 40 years, and that's about it. And and through all them 40 years, that's what they've always done. They've picked up even back in the 8-bit computer days, they were doing this. I'm telling you,
but I'm saying
it's in their DNA.
I get that, but you can't. But I mean, if you look at the recent things of what they're doing, right? And then the games, because people are like, "Oh, EA is trash. They even have no good games." That's bullshit. Because you over here bragging about, the Fallen Jedi Order. That's the thing that trips me out, is that people want to separate the Jedi,
right.
You know what I'm saying, the Fallen Jedi, because it's with, but that's under EA's
and they just get
umbrella.
This money out of nowhere,
right? Like
and all these loot box stuff is recent. They've been had this money.
Yeah, you can't just say it's Respawn shit. It's EA's game, and then the other games.
Isn't Def Jam EA?
Apex.
EA knows what they know what they're doing, but they want this money, and so they'll,
I think
they're more likely to go this soulless. Yeah, they're greedy, and they'll go right towards the soulless stuff, even though they see Destiny and they see the whole mindset of how it works and the money it makes, but they see the money and they don't see the work and effort and the 500 million just in the first game alone, I think, in advertising, not even development cost, right?
Yeah.
For the first Destiny, marketing, like, come on, EA, you only put a small team together and you're trying to have your own Destiny, and you see this is making stacks on stacks on stacks of money. All you saw is stacks on stacks of money, and not the work that you got to put in to get those stacks. Like, how the hell did you get here and not know this lesson?
You was right. You're right about that. I'm not even going front about that.
It's funny. It's for a game that was built last minute. Mm-hmm. They got the best flight mechanics.
Yo,
oh my god!
For a game that was built last minute, that's the best last minute game I've ever seen in my life.
Ever. Like, I'm like, oh, this is it. I was like, yeah, like Don and even when Pred was on it hard, I was like, oh yeah, Destiny's in trouble, Jack. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then Division 2 was coming out at that time, and Division 2 was holding its own. They did fantastic. And then
I'm beefing at Division 2.
Yeah, and then when, of course, but see, Division is still cool, but
right.
But that substitution, when you look at when people were like, well, look, Destiny is still, but then when people jumped on Anthem, because that was the most anticipated out of all the three, even more than Destiny, I would add, then all of a sudden, because people were upset at Destiny about some of the stuff that they did. I forgot, actually. But Anthem was supposed to be that new, like, look, hey, y'all gonna have to get it together if you want us to come back to Destiny. And then when everybody beat it or played it and the content was as lackluster as it was like,
bruh.
It was over. It was over. So
shit was dead.
All right, so y'all got time for one more topic and then we gonna get out of here?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, sure. All right,
roll with it.
Roll with it.
Roll with it. Let's get it. All right. I guess Lemon got mad at somebody in the comment section, and he left. Shout out to my boy Lemon. I don't know. Oh, but then I was like, it got quiet. What happened? And then I looked and he was gone. But shout out to Lemon. He probably had something to do. But anyway, Google. There was an article that came out today, and it said Google couldn't deal with how expensive and complicated it was to make games. and a rumor has it that Amazon is having the same type of issues. Will this end before it begins for these two companies, gentlemen? I mean, what do y'all think, man?
I mean, it's already ended with Stadia because, like, heck, they shut down their first party studio.
Oh.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. Remember the last trifecta of console makers we had? Sega, Nintendo, and Sony. And before Sony, Nintendo and Sony were going at it together. You know, until they got backstabbed, and then Sony came into the market. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So and then when Xbox came around, you know, everybody's like, "There's no room for you. Nobody wants you here. You got nothing." Right? You got that stigma, that old Microsoft stigma from the Apple people, but they're still around. So with enough money, you can do it if you stick to it. I mean, they literally 2013 almost left. They were almost sold out, you know. So they stuck to it, and look what happened. They turned it around. They had enough money. They had the right people in the right place to turn it around. And look where we're at now, right? If Phil Spencer says that Google and Amazon are their competitors, it's because they see what they have and what they could do. The only problem is going into the cloud now, Xbox already has all these games, right? PlayStation has all these games that they can go into the cloud and do, you know, their services. What does Google have? They have to get third party to bring in their old games, right? Most of those games we already own or have played. Same thing with Amazon. They're, you know, the only thing they got going for them when it comes to gaming is Twitch. They got the connection with some of the game developers to get like special skins, you know, a couple of free games here and there, you know, so you got that stuff going on. But when it comes to first party development, they didn't have nothing. Why do you think Microsoft or Xbox got EA to make Madden for Xbox? They had to cancel their sports series because NFL Fever was better than Madden.
Just then sports. Yeah, I remember all of that. Yep.
Right?
They had a whole sports division. They killed it just to get EA on live.
Exactly. So they did that. They did that to themselves to bring on something more because EA was not coming. They knew that they weren't going to make it.
Yeah, EA wanted to run their own live servers and all of that. And back then, live was a new thing. And we already know what EA. I'm not trying to knock on EA, but EA running their own Xbox Live servers. Any new game that came out of EA that was online, at first the online was always trash because they wanted to run their own Xbox Live servers. And Microsoft didn't want to allow that because they're just messing up the network, and EA proved their point. But they needed EA, so they had to do the deal with the devil, so to speak. And yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, if Google stuck around to it, they could do it. You know, them deciding to close the doors on first party, that's fine. They still got their tech there. What was the next thing that they said? Oh, well, we have this tech here for anybody else if they want to use it. So
they're just trying to sell it and get rid of it.
They're just doing a pivot. You know what I mean? So and Luna, I'm sorry, I'm not beta testing Luna for $5 or $7 or whatever it is a month,
right?
Just to try and help them.
That. We were playing. Yeah, I played because the service played fantastic. I showed a little bit of me playing tennis, and I'm like, man, this is really good. But again, you're right. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, but the one thing I want to say on this was basically, you know, you look at all this stuff about how they did all of this with, and it's just like, well, Google, okay, so we know how Google messed up, right? But you gotta think about why Amazon decided to the Mark Whitten decided to leave. Let's remember the relationship between Amazon and Google. Amazon, quote unquote, stole Android from Google. They didn't steal it, it's open source, right? So they could do that. They could what they call, you know, fork the source code, and they created the Fire OS. Okay, Android TV was in development, but you know they fast tracked that, and they got, you know, the Fire Sticks, and that Android offshoot that they run on their Fire Sticks for the TV was based on Android TV. You know, because they forked Android, so and you can run Android apps and all that stuff. So it's my theory. You know, when Google dropped it, Not only did Amazon say, "Whoa," and with the $5 a month or the $5 a month or whatever it is, the cost that Dreadpool was talking about. Lemon's been talking about that all the time. He always talks about that. I mean, that alone was already a bad look. It wasn't even done yet. It was still in testing or whatever, right? In beta or whatever. And then, now that Google has left, and it just goes to show it's like they were only there because Google was doing it, and they were going to continue. Every time Android, updates, and they put up the source code out there, Amazon was just going to take it and to continue on, with their version of it, right? Because they announced theirs after Google, so Luna was just it's just the Amazon clone of what Google does, and Amazon does that a lot, right? It's more than just that. I don't want to just reduce it to that. It's more complicated than all I'm saying. But once they saw the writing on the wall, they were like, ugh. But now why did Google leave in the first place? Well, we already see all the mistakes they were making off bat. But then they see, okay, like I was saying about EA and Anthem, Google actually did step back and realize, dude, this industry costs a lot. We have to put in a lot of money. We have to earn our spot. And that takes time, money, and
effort.
Look, there's something shiny over there we can make money on. Let's go over there, which is the thing that Google does all the time. All the time, it's a thing that Google is known for. EA is known for dumping studios after a couple of failures. Well, and Google is known for dumping projects and products as soon as there's a bump in the road. So hey, are you really about it?
Yeah, there's one thing. Yeah, that they just bought Codemasters also. Because they're trying to get into the racing genre, trying to go up against like Forza or Gran Turismo, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like they're just trying. EA is trying to get back into the prominence of what they were, because overall, Need for Speed is still the #1 selling racing franchise of all time. Like it's still going to take a while before GT or Forza to catch up to Need for Speed. Like regardless of the last Need for Speeds for the last, I don't know, 10 years, 10, 12 years or whatever, has been, mediocre to, good to awful. And you know what I'm saying, that I think EA is just trying to say, look, we were built on this, so therefore we got to get back and get back to the original recipe. So I don't know, man. I personally feel, and PK, you've been really quiet. You had nothing to even say about any of this stuff?
Well, I mean, I feel like we definitely need to understand that from a Google's perspective, they do a lot of things and don't follow through. Amazon, on the other hand, are definitely looking to profit and make their way. Basically, Amazon stole a studio right up underneath Microsoft, the ones who created Killer Instinct, Double Helix. That was not just random. That was very specific. They do have first-party games, and maybe they're not so good. I mean, but they do have them at the very least. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. The thing I'm saying is that when you look at what Google is doing, it's like their internet. Their internet, they gave up on it. Their social media, they gave up on it. They just kind of let things go on. They I don't know.
Yeah, their video chat products, they have like 3 of them. They'll dump one, they come up with another one, dump that, come up with another one.
I mean, look at Hangout. Hangouts was fine. Then they come up with Meets, and it doesn't even have all the capabilities.
Yep.
Or flexibility. So it's a, how can I say, it feels like a
Like the commercial, half-assed.
Well, I would say habitual, right? It seems like a habit.
Habitual line steppers.
But
They are.
Amazon, on the other hand, they bought Twitch. They invested into the gaming, and you know what I mean. They're doing things, so it's not like this is it. They're actually trying to do
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not even Amazon who decided to leave. It was really the CEO or the head guy of that whole division who left. It's not like Amazon said, "Oh, we're giving up like Google did," or anything like that. It's just this one dude left, which is not a good look. And that's why we're treating it as if Amazon officially did say, but they really didn't say anything of the sort. Let's not forget.
We just need to keep an eye out and see if Phil Harrison goes there, because then we know it's dead.
True. Very true.
That's something that is. I would think that too, honestly.
Right.
I mean, Amazon published the game on Xbox and PlayStation, so it's not like they haven't been making strides. I mean, they brand new.
Well,
I'm sure
and that's what I'm saying is they got the money.
Well, it's not just the
just
money,
have to
right?
stick with it.
Right.
But
It's not just the money, because what I was trying to say is Amazon doesn't. You have not seen something that Amazon invested into and just gave up on it. If it didn't work the first time, they'll just keep on until they get it right. Fire Sticks wasn't that great. Now they're popular, right?
Thanks to Cody, by the way, I would say. They definitely rode that wave.
The point I'm making is, I mean, they invested and they kept it moving until they made it profitable. I mean, heck, who would thought you can get groceries through Amazon?
Right.
I mean, come on.
No, they're dangerous.
The thing is,
that's what Microsoft is doing. What they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So
and Sony.
Phil Spencer did not make his statement about not viewing Nintendo and PlayStation as a competitor. They know stuff that we don't know, but they obviously understand that their competitors not only have the potential, but definitely have the R&D going on right now to get into that space, whatever that looks like. So we could sit here and speculate, but I'm saying that is very specific that he said that. And when he said that, that means something. Now, it might have been a few years ago, but that to us, but development time and R&D and a lot of process behind the scene takes years. But once it gets there, then it's solid. It is something. This is why he's pushing to make sure the xCloud is something, because Amazon is into everything. The tech companies don't care where they sell their products as long as they can get to you. Right? You can get Amazon. You don't need a Kindle to buy Amazon books from Amazon, right? Matter of fact, they own Comixology. Like you can get comics just from them through the app on an Android or iOS. You don't need their stuff. You don't need the Fire Stick to get Amazon products. You can have Google TV or through anything. That's the point. And I think Phil understands that, and this is why he's doing his best to make sure xCloud is available everywhere, including through the browser. And if he can make it work through the browser, yes, even PlayStation can have access to the Game Pass.
And if it doesn't work, it would be because Sony went out of their way to block it in their browser if they had one, which they don't have, by the way.
That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen because they wouldn't have control. This is a browser. Only way to lock that down is not allow you to have a browser.
Yeah,
well,
but
number one,
no,
they already don't have, but they would do
Sony's
stuff.
Policies are way too restrictive.
Well, it
right
has
now,
nothing to do with
so.
a policy. It's just the function of how the web browser
Okay,
works.
so like I know what you're talking about when he's saying, like, for instance, like if people want to use Kodi on the Xbox. Xbox is much more open-minded about certain things than what you can't. After Sony got caught up long time ago with that there was, I forgot what military was using their technology for a terrorist situation, and then also it was used for some other military acts and stuff like that. Sony slowly but surely started cracking down on usage of certain things. That's why when certain people go in, they try to do things, and they were getting their PlayStation shut down. It was because they were trying to do stuff that they weren't supposed to. So
that's not the same thing though. So the
Right,
only
that's not the same thing. But PK,
what I'm saying is a technical. It will. The only thing they could do to stop you is literally not allow their browser to support HTML5.
But
That's it.
literally, what they could do is the browser could be programmed in such a way that they see services and servers and all these things, and they block that at the browser level. So you know how sometime like was it Stadia, and you can go and you can change the HTML flag or whatever it was, so your browser identifies itself as something else, and they could use GeForce Now and Stadia and other browsers that didn't support it.
That's because it ran HTML5. That's the only way you
but
technically. It has to be on a technical level
on console
but there's
browsers.
no way
We
they
didn't
can
have one anyway. So
there's no way they can possibly, manage what you browse on your browser unless they intentionally disable it in a way.
Well, hold on. You
where
can't use your browser unless you're under PSN anyway, right? I knew
no, you can. No, you can use your browser without it. That's what I'm saying. It's you
can at least
only way they can do it is do it like Nintendo, where it just doesn't support HTML5. That's what Nintendo does.
Well, they don't even have a browser anyway, so
they do. They got a browser. You got to download it on the Switch. But
no, I'm talking about the PS5. Yeah, Switch has one.
So all I'm saying is that will be the only way. Outside of that, it's no technical way they can do that.
What if they did like a VPN site block or something like that?
You're gonna spend money on something like that?
Hell yeah, they'll lose money. They will lose money.
That's a bit much. Yeah, that's a bit
much. Trust me, they will lose money if people could get a hold of
VPN
if Game Pass could be able to get on Sony. What do you think PlayStation Now will be destroyed?
So let's just back up. There's no possible way they're gonna be able to do that. Like I said, the only way they can do it. There's two things they can do. Either not allow a browser, which they can do that. Even if they got one now, they can definitely remove it or make it disable it. Right? They could definitely do that through an update. Or not allow theirs, or give them a browser that does not support HTML5. That's what the Switch does.
But I mean, if I can use pfSense to block entire countries like Russia or China.
Yeah, pfSense is a software-defined firewall. Okay? That's not something you can use on a console that's sitting behind a private firewall already.
Right, but that's what I'm getting at. What if they did something similar?
Well, like I said, it will not be likely because they cannot manage your stuff behind your firewall on your private LAN. It's impossible. The only way to do that is, again, attack it on the system level by either disabling the browser itself or not allowing it or disabling the ability to use the methods needed to make it work beyond just going to a website. And that's possible.
I can tell you this right now. I can sit there and I can play a certain thing on a console. Like let's say, okay, like when the MLB The Show was out there, right? You could play the demo. All right, if I wanted to just go ahead and just be a hard ass and show the gameplay when they told you that you can't, if they can light you up like that and shut your shit down like the ATF, I guarantee you.
That is not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
My point is
that it is two different technologies, bro.
If they want it doesn't matter. I don't care about all that crazy.
I know you don't care, but I'm telling you what it is.
Okay, but this is the point. If they don't want it on there, they're gonna take it off. That's the bottom line.
I agree.
That's the bottom line.
They can take off the browser. That is possible. They remove the ability to install Linux. On the PS3, they can definitely take the browser off.
But they cannot
monitor, control, or staple you from browsing anything on your browser. They can't do that.
The only way that Sony will allow something like that is that there's some kind of crazy partnership, and I just don't see Sony doing that because they know the Game Pass at the level that it's at right now compared to PlayStation Now. And even to PSN, because PSN is really good right now, but that means the PSN would have to be astronomical every damn month and come out with newer and newer games to just compete with Game Pass. And Microsoft is over here eating good, even if PlayStation was getting 30-40% of the cut. So that's what I'm saying. Like I just can never see it ever.
Well,
it ever
I
be
tell you
on
what.
there. If it
I
happens,
tell you
it
what.
happens. What's up?
If the PlayStation 5 has a browser and it supports HTML5 and Game Pass works on the browser, it's gonna work. There's no way in hell they can stop you from browsing anything on a browser unless
They'll just come out with an update and then they'll break the browser some kind of way, and then
They'll
they just
just
won't
shut. They'll just shut your PlayStation down for violation.
And that's it. There's no violation. They can't tell you what to browse on your browser.
They can't do that. Right.
But they can if it's going through their system.
No, it's not going through their system though.
I
It's
know,
not
I'm
going
just-
through their servers.
But
If
see,
you're
but
on their
people don't
games,
but
that's
hold on.
different.
But another thing too, PK as well. Now we got to get out of here. But this is a great discussion. I wish we could have talked about this earlier. But yeah, because I'm like I get what you're saying with everything about the technical aspect of it. That's why I'm saying I'm not trying to say discredit what because when I said I don't care about that, I meant in the sense of when it really wants to be broke down, I don't care about how technical it is. Somebody that's really smart to want to do that. If Sony doesn't want it to happen, it will not happen. If Xbox doesn't want something to happen, it's not going to happen. And I
agree.
And that's the whole point. So you're saying that that if they somebody could go through all the trouble to get Game Pass on a PlayStation browser, that would be all well and good. But you know what's going to happen. The first time that the person puts that on TikTok or Twitter or Facebook, that shit's gonna blow up like the sun. And then once that happens, it's finito. It's Titans. It's gonna be done.
So they're definitely not gonna wait to that. They're definitely paying attention.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not just Game Pass, right? We're talking about Luna too. We're talking about all their competitors.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is that if they see that they actually made an advancement by making it work on iOS through the browser, they're probably going to preemptively disable the means.
Well, yeah, that's what Jazzy Noop is saying over here. He says in the browser code they can restrict content from certain locations, so it is possible to block it. And
that's only if you run it on their network. If you're behind your private LAN and there's nothing restricting and no update restricting the browser like it is now. I mean, the Switch is restricted just because they just don't allow their browser to have any features that you can't run nothing on it. But if, like I said, if they do it that way, then nothing can run anyway. It won't make sense. But if it's free and open, like your browser on your PC or your phone or something, there's nothing they could do. You're behind your private LAN. They can't get in there and do anything. They will have to disable it on the system level.
Okay, so like for instance, let's say people going into the dev mode. So you're saying that like if people go into like a dev mode on their PlayStation 5, if it was available, then they could do it that way, right? But not just openly.
A dev mode is not the same thing. That is just opening debug on your.
Okay.
It's okay. Just put it this way. You know how the Fire Sticks work, right? And people jailbreak those. Okay.
Jailbreaking.
Okay. Amazon or nobody can stop you from jailbreaking them.
No.
You bought it. You can jailbreak all you want, right? The only time you get busted is when you're sending data that the ISPs allow these the content owners to view. So you set up a VPN. They cannot stop you from streaming or downloading as long as you got a private
But how would
tunnel.
Microsoft deal with that too?
Yeah,
how would that work through Microsoft? You know
it's the same deal. If you have a private tunnel, they cannot view what you're doing. So they can't stop you.
So you're telling me that they could just go ahead and just go through and get all the Game Pass games without any repercussions whatsoever, or even paying for them?
I'm not saying not paying for them. Obviously, you have to have an account. But what I'm saying is, right now, technically, you cannot use the Game Pass app on Amazon Fire Stick, but you can on Google TV. It is not by it's not built or allowed to be downloaded natively on Amazon's Fire Stick. I don't know if that's deliberately or what, but you can sideload it, and you can run it if you jailbreak your system. Because at the end of the day, The Fire Stick is built on the Android OS at a base level, so it can run any Android apps.
Well, yeah,
So
that part I know.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I got what
they
you.
could
I got
still
what you're saying.
send a signal.
Right,
They could still send a signal and
okay,
pop those that are jailbroken. Because I mean, you know, I don't know about you guys.
I was just going to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I had it. You know, I was back in the day when you had to get a cable box and you had to have the card, and then you know what you did? You went over to your friend's house or some coworker that had access to cards that were unlocked, and then you would pop that in there, and then you'd watch the NFL. Sorry, I didn't mean to say those 3 letters and get you blocked.
Oh, you mean the DirecTV stuff back in the day?
Before DirecTV, yeah. But those cable boxes, there was cable boxes, it was satellite boxes, but you can get the card and slide it in there and unlock it, and then you'd watch the big game, and then they would send a signal and fry it out.
Right.
You know
yes,
what I mean?
but you're also on their network. I know how that works because I did used to work for an ISP. And before they had those cards, it was all done at the box, which they couldn't send a signal to. That's why they switched everything to digital, because the analogs you couldn't do it. Once they took the traps off, you can watch all the channels that did not need a box.
Well, yeah, I had a friend that,
and they did away with that once they got rid of the analog.
Yeah, I had a friend that had basic cable for 25 years for free because they never
because they'll never know.
Well, until they had to do some chat, and they were like, "What the hell?" And the next thing you know, he was like, "Well, you know, I can't complain. I've been lucky for this long." So, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they spot check, and if you live in an apartment. If you live in an apartment, you more than likely.
He's saying the house. No.
Yeah, but they do spot checks, but that doesn't mean they'll catch you, right? You can probably have it for years, and they would on the analog signals, right? But in general, you're right. They could send a signal if they can see what you're doing. They have to have a valid reason to disable your box. If you have a VPN, they cannot see your data. They can't see what you're doing. It's just they don't have visibility, so they won't have any valid reason to do anything to you is what I'm getting at.
No, he had it. He got it in the early 90s when he first moved into his new home, and then he just had it cut off like 2 years ago. So it was crazy how long he had it, and then like now he's paying for it now, but it was just crazy, like basic cable just forever. Like I was just like, damn, they're never gonna. And it was so crazy because I even forgot that he had it because you're so used to it when I would go over there and hang out, and then he just brought it up to me, and I said, you know what? That's right, I remember. Oh snap! I said, you had it for this long, man. I said, you one of the luckiest people I ever met in my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but anyway, we got to get out.
They had that here. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say they had that here where your cable, even if you only had internet, the cable still had feed. So when the cable guy came over, you weren't connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after he was gone, you connect it, and there you go. Everything's working.
No, the only thing I knew about that was the water guy. Like if something happened, if the water got cut off, then you know that I had the tool to turn the water back on. So that was it. Yep. That was the times was rough. That's what you did. And then you cut it off. Then you cut it back off when you paid the bill. And then they would check the meter, and then you get hit. And sometimes some people didn't even check the meter. That's what was crazy because they didn't even check it. Sometimes that was in the old days. That was in the 90s. I wouldn't dare try to do that shit anytime now. Because
nowadays these boxes are digital, and you can see the codes changing every couple of seconds. So you can't even. Bro.
I'm sure, but yeah, in the 90s it used to be a lot easier than that. Like, man, I'm gonna take this extra little money. I'm gonna do some other else with this change, and then next thing you know, I got that tool. I'm good. But anyway, I'm past the statute of limitations, so I'm good, man. I ain't gonna get arrested.
Watching the squiggly lines before you realize you could get a filter. HBO.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we about to get out of here now. We about to get some people in trouble.
Self-incriminate.
I know. We got to get out of here before somebody comes here and says,
"Ladies and gentlemen, we got him."
They got him. So All right. Thank you, guys, for coming on, man. Great discussions as always. Sinister, thank you so much for coming on, man. I hope it won't be the last time for sure, brother, man. Where can everybody find you, man?
Yeah, you can follow me on my social medias, like my Instagram is Sinister1019, Twitter is Khonshu19, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
Nice. All right, and Dreadpool, of course, I'm going to be asking you again to come on the show, man. So hopefully this ain't the last time, unless somebody insulted you or something, man. And I understand that there's some savage people on this podcast for sure. You know what I'm saying? Still Rain is a monster. He scares the shit out of me. No,
man.
Anyway, no. So man, where can everybody find you at, man? Glad for you coming on, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on. It's been a while since we hung out together.
Yes.
So, first of all, I always want to thank everybody in the chat. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here, right? We'd just be talking to ourselves on the phone or something.
Absolutely.
But thank you for having me on. Thanks for everybody for letting me share your time with you guys. Twitter is I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. Twitter is Dreadpool. All caps, the O's are actually zeros. YouTube, GamerTag, and I still have Stadia for whatever reason. Even rest in peace to them. It's all letters, all caps, Dreadpool. And then Breaking Bread with Dread. What?
Mm-hmm. That was Stadia that he was talking about.
Okay. So Breaking Bread with Dread is on Anchor.fm, Dreadpool, and it's all letters. It's on Apple, it's on Google, it's on Spotify, it's on a whole bunch of other ones too. So just if you go to Anchor, you can watch it on whatever platform you want. We sit down, we eat, and literally face to face as we're eating, we're talking about whatever. And like I said, I just had that Twitch interview from last week, so check it out. And every week you can find me on Gaming Beyond the Box Wednesday nights. Check out the Halo tournament that we got going on. Check out
next week, isn't it?
Fire. I'm sorry?
Is the Halo tournament next week? Is that the one with
the podcasters?
Yeah, the podcasters.
Yeah.
That's next week, isn't it? Yeah.
To be honest, I've been out of it since last week, so I don't remember if I thought it was coming up like tomorrow.
I
don't know. Check it out.
I thought they said the 6th. March 6th was.
Was it the 6th? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not tomorrow then.
Okay.
So, but yeah, check that out. Check out Fireside News Radio. We got something going on every Sunday, and then the creator feature whenever Husk actually has something. He gets these creators. We got Chef Mike? That was one of the big ones that we got. And, he did a great job on that. But Breakfast with Boom, Friday mornings at 10, Four Guys with Quarters. And the reason why I was having a little hiccup was I was trying to remember who we had coming up. We have, come on, PK, you know who I'm talking about. Was it Monday? Monday, it's Crypto.
Yeah, Crypto, the rich guy.
Yeah, the guy. Where is it at?
And
I'm looking for the information.
And then
here. But anyway, it's Crypto. He does that song "Whoa" a couple years ago. He made millions off of it. Whatever. He's got a record deal. So Four Guys with Quarters are doing interviews on that. I'll be there for that. And then the one after that, the very next day, is another person I can't remember. I'm looking through the chat, but I can't see it. So I am so sorry, Italian Clownz. I can't find what you had with all the info.
Yeah.
We've been talking all over the place.
Yeah, I know that Don got asked, and so because Don told me that he was asked to come, so hopefully Don will come.
That's it. Xbox Pope.
Yeah,
Xbox Pope.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. That's good. That's my boy
on Tuesday.
Yes. So that's great.
So definitely check out all those places. You may or may not find me, but I'm usually there.
Nice. Excellent. Boy, you got a scroll. You had the scroll like I used to have back in the days.
I have to have it typed out so I can read it.
Man, that you doing some work. You doing some real work, man. Congratulations.
Doing God's work out there.
I know, for real.
I'm hoping to try to figure out another place other than Perry to meet up with Steel.
That's a fact.
Oh man. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Well,
Steel and Midway was in the chat.
What about your show?
That was the
Breaking
first one.
Bread with Dread.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
That's what I was just talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's on Anchor.fm. Steel and I did one, and Midway was in the chat. He was the first one that was my guinea pig for the show.
Nice.
So hopefully, because I know what PK is talking about. Hopefully, we get to travel and I can drive up north and then start meeting up with people.
Nice, because that's what it's all about. Once you start meeting the people that you collaborate with, that's the next level. That's
I got a whole bunch of Texans wanting to meet up. I got people up at the East Coast and Connecticut, New York. Everybody wants to meet up, but I can't fly. With the sickness going on, I'm not allowed on a plane.
Oh well,
so,
I got you.
If I go on a plane, mandatory 2 weeks, and that's not including the time I'm gone.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
So I'm not about to lose all that time.
No, that would just be a waste of time. So, all right, excellent, man. That's a lot of work, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so people go check them out. I will put the links in the description, most likely tomorrow, because I won't have the video up until a little bit later on tonight or in the morning or whatever. But I'll have the links in the description for both gentlemen. So, but yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. So, all right, so let's get to it. Man, PK Live, man, where can everybody find you, brother?
Hey, so I just want to thank all our guests that came on. You know, you guys always home, always should come back and definitely have good conversations. We had some really passionate conversations today, and I enjoyed it. Sinister, please come back. Like to see you come back, and definitely Dreadpool. Have some good stories to tell us about your adventures.
Yeah, because I wanted to get to some of your gaming background a little bit, but so much stuff to talk about. So hopefully we can get you guys back on so we can do that, have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll see you next week.
So you can find me here every Friday, GRG, hanging out with KMEGA and friends, and definitely on. I will be creating. I should be, once I get my intros redone, I should be making more videos soon. Please don't judge me. It's been a while. It's been hard, so I'm trying to get back where I need to be. But it's going to be amazing at the end of the day. So definitely find me at Twitter at PKX Live. I am on all platforms. If you guys want a game, just shoot me a DM or tweet at me, and I'll definitely get down on something if I definitely got it or not. But right now we got this free demo until launch, so we're going to definitely check that out until we can't no more.
Yeah, I hate that we didn't get a chance to talk about that because I was one that I'm just gonna say it for me right now. I like the game. I can't wait till Outriders come out. I thought the game was amazing. I've heard other people complain about it, but I think the game is dope. I cannot wait to buy it. So I don't know. So while everybody's doing that,
Game looks solid. Game looks solid.
Yeah, I think the game is solid. I heard somebody says it was like. And I never got a chance to play it. My son played it, and he told me that I would like that game. He wasn't the biggest fan of it, but they had a, I can't think of the actual name of the game now, but it was a online game kind of similar to it, but I don't know if people are still playing that game to this day, but this was years ago when this game came out, and they had a television series as well, so that might, if that help you. But it was an online game that was like you played with so many characters, and Defiance. I think that was the name of the game, Defiance. So yeah.
TV show on Sci-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah. He told
that show.
Before Destiny, just before Destiny.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. They told me that it was like the Defiance, and I never played Defiance, but if Defiance plays like Outriders, then shit, then I would have liked Defiance. But okay, so all right.
It plays better than Defiance, I'll tell you that.
Oh, really? It does? Okay, cool, cool. So PK, what else you want to finish with? So.
Oh, that's it.
Okay,
I just want to make sure.
Okay. All right. So Still Rain. Where can they find you at, bro? The monster, the dude that be terrorizing us when he start the show and when we get off.
Hey man, nah, that's not what it is. Look, man, we had a lot of action in here tonight, man. We had a lot of people, you know what I mean? And everybody was hitting it out the park, you know. It's hard to get a lot of different opinions out into in a show, man. You can go so many different ways, stretch it so many different directions, especially when you get into certain topics and people get passionate, you know what I mean? But that's what it's about, right? So, but anyway, look, every Friday, GRG, 8 p.m. Central. Look, this is where we're going to be at. We always try to come at you from a different angle, different perspective, like always bringing the energy. That's what it's about. Again, man, I appreciate the chat for coming out. KMEGA again, the GRG Kingdom itself, again, the rain is just more than grateful to be here with you guys. And Dread, Sinister, man, y'all were dope, man. Again, Dread, always a salute, bro. Always a salute to you, man. And we definitely should get up again sometime, man. We'll work on that in the future. Other than that, man, check me out on YouTube. I'm streaming every now and then. I just did a stream for Outriders yesterday. Just giving my overall opinions on it. And that's typically what I do, man. I play games. Outriders, man.
Okay. I thought you didn't hear what I said.
Outriders, man. It's so far for me, it's a 9 out of 10.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I have heavy expectations for Outriders now. It's to the point where yesterday after my session, because there's only about that's a fact. There's only about 7 missions in the demo, which is good for a demo, 3 to 4 hour experience for a demo to give you an overall, tell what you're looking for. Man, they give you a lot to work with. Man, it's to the point, like I was saying, I put the demo down. I'm ready to play the full experience.
Right.
Just getting to level 7 isn't enough. I would recommend anybody. The demo is free. Check it out. Play every class. Have a good time. And man, it's been a solid experience overall. But anyway, man, check me out on YouTube, on Twitter. I Still Rain. The T is a 7. Just hit me up, man. DMs is open. Chat's open.
The link is in the description, so go ahead and check him out. No doubt about it. Everybody's is in there except for the guests, which I will fix that. And also, last but not least, man, my boy Rain. I said Rain. Oh my God. Sorry. Six Slayer, Slick as I call him. Where can they find you at, brother? And did you get a chance to play the demo?
No, I didn't get the chance to play the demo. In fact, gonna be playing it in the morning, definitely. I just set it to download after the show is over. Hey, excuse me if I have job and life and bills to pay. Hey. I ain't got that one. Anyway, so first off, hey, thanks to the guests for coming out, Dreadpool and Tar Heel. Thank you for coming out, fellas. Thank you to the chat. Almost every name I see you guys constantly, and so thanks for being here. And you can catch me right here on GRG every week, every Friday. You can find me on pretty much every platform, every gaming platform, social media. You know the name, no C, you'll find me. And tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Finally, for real. That's right. The Dragon's Den podcast will be on and popping. I hope all of you can come make an appearance in the chat. Show your support. I hope to see all of y'all there. We've been working on this for a long time. We wanted to get things just right. Particularly Lemon had some particular things he wanted to do. And until those things were perfect, no matter what else, he wasn't going to do it. And finally, all is ready. It's go time, baby. 7 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. 108 Dragons TV on YouTube. Come check us out.
Let's go. About damn time. I've been talking about that for the last three damn years. Yeah,
I must admit. Yeah.
And then on top of that, like I have to say that GRG is almost approaching its 4th year of being in existence, which is crazy to me.
Nice.
And so I have some announcements that I will make once that day comes up. Some special things. And so I'll do a giveaway. I'm going to do a couple of giveaways. Obviously, that means that I'm feeling extra generous, which I shouldn't be, but I am. And so therefore, I do want to ask this question. For Fight Night, what we're going to be doing when Guilty Gear Strive come out, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for there because showing love. And then so for when Outriders come, I will be doing a giveaway on GRG that day when that week when that game drops. So I will when it comes, get ready, come and check it out. Be a giveaway. Doesn't matter if it's on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You can win it. You don't even have to join the Patreon and none of that other stuff or whatever. I will start doing stuff with the Patreon, and also we will finally here in the coming weeks, finally get on radio, or get to where we'll start being on like Spotify and Apple and all that other stuff, man. I've been waiting to get this stuff done, but I've had some other stuff I needed to take care of and everything like that. So we're definitely going to be doing that. And then and for everybody out there for the support that y'all guys been giving, man, God bless y'all. Thank you. But I do have one more question before I go. All right, so I'm in the Nintendo store right now. Which game should I get? Marvel Alliance 3 or Mario Kart? Because I'm conflicted right now because I got that Bowser game.
I'm a Mario Kart fan. I'm always gonna say that. So
all right, so people in the chat, please
You
let me
might as
know
well get
right
Mario
fast.
Kart.
So both, man, because they got the Marvel Alliance. Man, Nintendo shit is just expensive, man. This shit is high. Alliance,
but you can sell it at price.
Yeah, well, this is digital. I'm buying them digital.
Oh well, never mind then.
Yeah. Ultimate Alliance 3, and it's got the expansion for $80, and then they got what's called is still $60.
Lord. You probably get Marvel Alliance since it's exclusive.
People saying both. Hey, Yobi, what's going on here? You saying both? I know, bro. The online, cause that's why I'm getting. I told you, man. I'm finna start, playing some more Switch. I'm finna get some more of these Switch games. So, all right. So I'm gonna. Okay. All right. So yeah, people saying both. Are y'all out? Y'all
I'm a bad influence.
Y'all are terrible. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all think I made them money? What the hell? This is horrible. Because I really want to play Mario Kart too. Oh my God. Anyway, all right, guys. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much. Finally for 3-hour show, but we're doing it. We're fine. We made it through. God bless y'all. Have a good one. Until next week, or until when you see me streaming and everybody else, make sure you go check out the Lion's Den tomorrow. Make sure you go check out everybody else's shows, from Sinister to Dread to my boy, man, why I'm getting Slayer and Reigns and Steel's name mixed up today in my head. I don't know. It's probably because I'm sipping on this Crown Black. But anyway, check out all of these guys' stuff. So check them out. We are out. Thank you. Good night.
Peace.
Happy gaming.
Sayonara.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.